Right up there with some of the most significant losses a U.S. president has suffered in the Supreme Court's modern history.
CBS's Jan Crawford.
The court is invalidating what was a cornerstone of the president's economic policy. Yes, Trump has other ways, the president has other ways that he can kind of try to levy tariffs. There are other statutes, but those are much more limited.
The president called the decision a disgrace. CBS's Ed O'Keefe at the White House.
This rises above partisan politics and is about constitutional interpretation of the text. And 6 of the 9 justices said he cannot do this based on a read of the Constitution. We are living, the Trump era is the greatest living, breathing constitutional exercise this country's ever gone through, with the constant question of can he do that? There's also the should he do that, but there's the can he do that? And we got a very clear answer from the Supreme Court today on the underlying question of who gets to impose tariffs. The answer is Congress.
Trump himself has called the case one of the most important in U.S. history. A spokesman for the European Union said today they are studying the decision and remain in close contact with the Trump administration as it seeks clarity on the response. There was some disappointing economic news out today showing the economy growing at a slower rate than expected. Michael Wallace reports.
Gross domestic product rose at an annual rate of just 1.4%, down from 4.4% during the third quarter.
So we would be looking at an economy that would be otherwise humming along had it not been for the federal government shutdown.
Bankrate senior economic analyst Mark Hamrick expects the economy will have what he calls a coiled spring effect and gain momentum this year.
The U.S. economy, supported by consumers and the AI spending boom, proves to be more resilient than many would have expected.
Some very spring storm-like storms, swept through the Ohio Valley overnight with tornado warnings and high winds in Indiana. CBS's Tom Hansen.
We have heard from people who are saying that they dodged a bullet here, that this storm could have been a lot worse than it was. And fortunately, we are not hearing of any casualties at this point and no severe injuries. So certainly dodging a bullet here.
The storm system is tracking to the northeast where it could dump more snow, and it's leaving very cold temperatures in its wake. Another strong storm system is also sweeping into the west with heavy snow in places. On Wall Street at this hour, stocks are mostly flat. The Dow up 111 points. This is CBS News.
I want to know what's going on in the world.
I'm Tony.
There are big questions that all of us are asking. I want to get you the answers.
How are you?
I'm Tony DeCopel. Join me on the CBS Evening News.
Washington's congressional delegation starting to weigh in on that big tariff ruling from the U.S. Supreme Court. More on that in just a moment. First, KIRO Newsradio traffic. Have that crash at South Everett on northbound 5, the right lane blocked at 112. Westbound 520 trying to get from Montlake up to I-5. We also have a crash blocking the right lane, causing delays in both of those spots. This traffic report brought to you by Bradley Johnson Lawyers and 1-800-DUIOA, serving the Pacific Northwest for over 30 years with hundreds of 5-star reviews. 1-800-DUIOA.com.
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Frank Lindsay. A major defeat at the U.S. Supreme Court for President Trump. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey has more on the court's 6-3 ruling against the president's right to impose a big chunk of his tariffs.
The court's opinion says the president can't impose tariffs like Trump did under the International Emergency Economic Powers Act. Only Congress can. Senator Maria Cantwell is praising the ruling.
Consumers all over our state and the country have been hurt. Small businesses, manufacturers, individual households have all had to pay higher prices on product that they can't afford.
The fallout could include paying back billions in tariffs collected at ports like Seattle and Tacoma, while other countries can still impose their tariffs on Washington goods leaving our ports. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
A report is revealing new details about the issues and concerns leading up to Oakley Carlson's disappearance. The 5-year-old vanished in February of 2021 and was pronounced legally dead in July of 2025. Her parents, Andrew Carlson and Jordan Bowers, were never charged for her disappearance or death, but law enforcement have said since that they are persons of interest. KIRO 7 TV's Brandon Thompson has more on the report from the Department of Children, Youth, and Families.
In the report, DCYF notes that more should have been done in January 2021 to interview Oakley's siblings and relatives, enhance documentation, including of Bowers' quote, tactics, isolating and manipulating partners, the children, and relatives.
The Washington State Patrol has activated a missing Indigenous persons alert for 13-year-old Isaiah Bullplume. Last seen Thursday night around 9:20 in Renton along 121st Avenue. He's 5'8", 150 pounds, has black hair, brown eyes, and was wearing a Pro Club sweatshirt and purple Air Jordans. If you see him, call 911. Washington has the second highest gas prices in the country today, $4.23 a gallon, only second to California. Our state's prices have gone up 40 cents a gallon in the last month. The national average, meanwhile, has only gone up a dime. KIRO News Radio weather now. Your forecast is calling for partly cloudy skies for the rest of the morning, and then we're going to have clouds all day. In fact, 44 degrees later today, and then scattered showers tomorrow. A little bit warmer, 49. Showers on Sunday, and a high of 53 degrees, and rain and 50 on Monday. Still chilly out there right now, 34 in Seattle. I'm Frank Lenzi, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
We're gonna have a really good time. Let's have a good time. We're gonna have a good time.
Oh, yeah. It is a fresh Friday. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Gee and Ursula Show. Gee is out today. And good morning, Greg Tomlin. Thank you.
Ursula, thrilled to be back.
So fun to have you here. We've got a super packed show for you. We have a transportation triple shot coming up at 9:30. A brand new way to pay your fare. Orca is going tap to pay, in case you haven't heard that. And one question is that going to finally turn freeloaders into paying customers? Plus, there's fresh construction headaches on Highway 99. Sully's going to join us and explain what's going on there. And then, did you hear that the mosquito fleet could be buzzing back onto Puget Sound? I know there's people tuning in right now and are asking, what exactly is the mosquito fleet? You are going to get update on that coming up at 9:30. As always, we invite you to join us on our Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line, 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. And I do want to mention, Greg, because I don't know that you've been here when we've done Flex Fridays, which we do at 9:47 on Fridays, where we check in with each other, because we said we're all going to do our thing to get into better shape and to just be healthier in 2026. And you're going to share some stories, too, coming up at 9:47. You got a big development going on.
Yes, some fun GLP-1 stories to be shared.
Yeah, and you know what? Let's be honest. There are a lot of people who are going to be able to relate to what you're talking about.
Millions of people, in fact.
Exactly. So our top stories right now brought to you by Pendergast Law. And as you heard in Frank's newscast, the Supreme Court has just pulled the emergency brake on one of the biggest pieces of President Trump's economic playbook, Greg. This morning, the justices struck down the sweeping global tariffs that the president has imposed on nearly every country. And the majority on the court said pretty bluntly that presidents don't get to invent taxes. And they're saying that the Constitution gives that job to Congress, period. Chief Justice John Roberts wrote that the framers never handed taxing authority to the executive branch. And in other words, tariffs might be good policy or bad policy, but they can't be done this way. Now, there were some conservative justices who dissented, saying that the law did allow it. And I understand that the president is about to have a news conference, but he did call the ruling a disgrace. And so now there's the messy part, though. Businesses, many of them here in Washington, have already paid more than $130 billion in tariffs. A lot of us have been paying more for goods that, do we get a refund? So the ruling doesn't kill tariffs altogether. It just means that the White House has to use narrower trade laws or at least get Congress involved.
Yeah, this is a huge, momentous day and a massive blow to Donald Trump and some of his economic policies here. I'm going to go there right away and just say this is a testament to our system of checks and balances.
Thank God.
I think it's a testament to our founding fathers, and it shows how robust our system of governance is here in the United States of America. I never thought these tariffs were going to pass constitutional muster, and the Supreme Court ruled as such. Tariffs are always supposed to come from Congress to whatever extent they deem necessary. And so I celebrate this decision, and it seemed pretty obvious to me for a long time that it was going to go this way. And I also think it's a blow to people that tried to describe this current Supreme Court and its makeup as being sort of in the back pocket of Donald Trump. They've shown themselves to be independent thinkers time and time again, and not just an extension of the will of MAGA, which I also applaud.
I mean, at least with this particular ruling, yeah, I am encouraged because I am one of those that has felt like, oh man, that it is stacked. It is stacked, so this is going to have repercussions for many, many years to come. And I guess the question for anybody listening right now, whether you're on the right, left, somewhere in between, are you comfortable with any president having unilateral taxing power?
No, I think this is a bipartisan issue.
Exactly.
And the Supreme Court is ruling here and sending a signal to both parties, which I think is brilliant.
Speaking of money and both parties, something happened in Olympia that is giving me a feeling of encouragement, too. Because, okay, as you know, Washington spends billions of dollars helping families afford childcare and spends billions of dollars, period. But lawmakers now admit that they're not entirely sure how well the state is tracking where all that money ends up. So, in a rare move, Democrats and Republicans in Olympia are teaming up, and they've got this proposal called the Fraud Prevention Act. It's led by Bainbridge Island Democrat Drew Hansen, and it's going to order a sweeping audit of state agencies. Now, Greg, we're not talking about just one department. We're talking about all of them.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're saying we want to know how grants, how contracts, how aid payments are actually monitored. And if anyone is looking for fraud instead of discovering it years later, I know what y'all are thinking right now, because this is coming. This is coming because of what has happened in other states and also here. Millions of dollars in child care overpayments, records that auditors couldn't locate, massive fraud scandals that lawmakers say exposed how vulnerable that some of these programs can be. Specifically, and again, there's a lot that hasn't been proven, but there are allegations in states like Minnesota. So
more than just allegations. I mean, there's been 60 convictions in the state of Minnesota. It's cost taxpayers hundreds of millions of dollars. Been a complete disaster, particularly for the governor of Minnesota and former VP candidate Tim Walz, who's not going to be running for re-election. You remember the guy Nick Shirley, who in December was allegedly kind of exposing some of the daycare center frauds in Minnesota, and whether or not all of that coverage was legit or not. It's interesting to note here because he really did strike a nerve, it seemed. I mean, he's started to build a whole career over this now as an independent journalist or right-wing content creator. So I don't know if this in Olympia is necessarily the Nick Shirley effect, but it is definitely worth noting here. This Fraud Prevention Act would call for a joint legislative audit and review committee to examine auditing, accountability, risk management, as you stated. It seems like something we should all get behind. I know there are some concerns that this has the potential to weaponize the AG's office and that there could be unjust fishing expeditions that go on. But I think we can allay some of those fear because the opposite side of that is potentially far worse. I mean, this seems to me like the check the receipts bill, and
how about I think this is long overdue.
Yeah, right, exactly.
I mean, look, why hasn't this been, when you're talking about billions of taxpayer dollars, why haven't there been guardrails in place?
And surely not every penny that comes out of Washington state coffers is being accounted for properly. So, yeah, nice to see some bipartisan support from this in Olympia.
That's huge.
Yeah, I mean, almost unheard of, right?
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, regular independent audits should be standard operating procedure.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is how you would run your household. You would be checking like, hey, I've got all this money. Where's this money going to? And this is the position that I keep coming back to. Before they ask us for more in taxes, the first question should always be, are we managing the money that
Show
we
us the
already
receipts.
have properly?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, is there waste? Is there duplication? Is there weak oversight? And if there is, that's a lot of money that's just sitting on the table. And again, before you ask us to increase our taxes, do a better job of. I just can't believe that it's only come up down.
Well, that's what I'm saying. And do you think part of it is because a lot of these viral stories where there's actually been convictions around the country? Surely this isn't only just happening in Minnesota.
No, exactly. Okay, the Washington Senate just voted to advance that so-called millionaire tax. But this is the part, Greg, that I haven't really paid attention to, and maybe you haven't either. Because the most explosive part of the bill might not be the tax itself. It's this necessity clause that critics are saying is designed to keep voters from putting it on hold and forcing a referendum. I didn't know that. And when Luke was describing what was going on in Olympia when we were talking about the millionaire's tax, I didn't realize that there was this clause. And so basically, in case you haven't been, it is a big sticking point. So, I mean, this is this proposal to create a new nearly 10% tax on personal income above $1 million. It would start in 2028. First payments due in 2029, and the idea is it would raise about $3.5 billion a year and affect about 30,000 well-to-do taxpayers. So that's what they're saying. But the Seattle Times is reporting that buried in that bill is language declaring it, this is a quote, necessary for the support of state government. And under Washington's Constitution, if a bill is deemed necessary, it cannot be challenged
in a referendum. Yeah.
Exactly.
And Washington state voters, we've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times, have rejected an income tax 10 or 11 times since 1933 in the last 100 years. Once you open Pandora's box, you're going to see a whole lot of cause and effect consequences, not to mention that this will snowball into more and more taxes or tax creep, making its way down the income scale into the middle class eventually. I see that as a certainty. Furthermore, I don't think it's going to pass a constitutional muster. Democrats are betting that the Supreme Court will rule in their favor, but the legal challenges are not negligible here. I think there's just a host of reasons to hate this bill ultimately, and the fact that they don't want to leave it open to referendum for the voters who have clearly stated unambiguously for decades that they don't want this is quite striking.
And that part isn't even, I don't think, should be a partisan issue. It's like, why would you sneak that in there if you're so confident it is something that we want? And I actually agree with Republicans who are saying that if this doesn't actually start until 2028, how can you call it an immediate necessity?
Right. Furthermore, Ursula, Democrats are ignoring their own spending problems, and this is going to make Washington State less competitive. We're going to attract less businesses, less talent, and it's very troubling. But Democrats in Olympia really seem unencumbered at this moment in history. I mean, they have big majorities in the House and Senate, the governor's seat. And they're not, ain't nobody going to slow me down.
Well, and I want to mention, because, okay, for people who don't know Greg very well, and you've been here a long time, so most people should know you by now. I mean, you tend to lean more conservative. And my thing is, every time people say, well, you get what you voted for, or, it's because Democrats control and voters are so stupid in Washington. This is what the critics say. And my argument for Republicans would be, you ought to field better candidates.
Oh, yeah. I think without question.
I mean, please, Lauren Culp, Semi Bird.
Yeah.
I mean,
I agree.
I don't think there would be this overwhelming majority if the Republican Party could field some better candidates.
Well, yes, and I also think there's still a divided Republican Party in many ways.
Yes.
Based upon the national landscape and who's leading the party. Because Washington State is probably the least Trumpy conservative area in the United States of America, if that makes sense. And I'm one of those people that I've never voted for Donald Trump, but I still consider myself a conservative.
Yeah.
But then you have Trump candidates. Now. You have Trump candidates running for major seats of power here in Washington that I don't really necessarily get excited about. And so there's been a lot of infighting, I think, too, that's contributed to Democrats just gaining even more and more of a stronghold in Olympia.
Okay, let's move on because Congresswoman Pramila Jayapal says she did this oversight visit to the Northwest Ice Processing Center in Tacoma, and it turned into a very long waiting game. She says she gave more than a week's notice. She had signed privacy waivers to meet with specific detainees there, but she was told she was only approved for a tour and not an actual meeting.
So I've been here for 3 hours now. I was told that a tour request, which I had to give 8 days notice for, is different than a meeting request, so they can't sit with me and talk with me and answer my questions. All right, this is all stuff, but it's all stuff that is essentially saying that members of Congress do not get to conduct our legitimate oversight responsibility. What are they so afraid of that they won't let me even have a meeting with them, answer any of my questions, meet with detainees who I have privacy release waivers for?
So she was eventually able to speak with that one detainee, but only in a public visitation room, which she says that's not typical because members of Congress who do visits can usually meet in private. She called the encounter heartbreaking. She said it was a guy with serious medical problems who is the sole caregiver to an 8-year-old U.S. citizen child. On her Facebook post, she said that attorneys told her that they routinely have to wait 4 or 5 hours just to see their clients. There were only 7 legal meeting rooms for about 1,300 detainees. She also heard again, and this is a complaint, these are kinds of complaints that come out of this detention center quite often, complaints about the medical care, overcrowding, and food. But ICE and the private contractor that runs that facility say the conditions do meet federal detention standards, and they claim they are regularly audited. But now Congresswoman Jayapal is accusing Homeland Security of obstructing oversight. And again, that's something that federal officials deny.
And did ICE address this particular occasion directly?
They basically
yet?
did it. No, they just gave a general statement.
Yeah, and I don't know. Is this Pramila Jayapal trying to exercise legitimate oversight or just create a story for the media here? I think maybe her claims sometimes can fall into the category of being dubious. So I would like to hear more from ICE and their response to this, sort of the other side of the story.
You think Pramila Jayapal's claims would be more dubious than ICE?
Well, I mean, that depends on who you talk to potentially, right?
Come on. I understand what you
think her motives are pure as the driven snow here, or that she's trying to exercise a political agenda and try to whip up more, fervor and anger against national, immigration enforcement.
Now, I understand that Pramila Jayapal is great at grabbing headlines. Now, that said. Are there legitimate concerns about what is going on in that detention facility? Yes.
Yes, for sure.
Are there a number of people who are not getting their due process? Yes. You actually brought up to me a little while back when looking at who's in ICE detention, and there was a recent report about who's in there and how many of them actually have criminal histories.
Yeah, violent criminal histories in particular. And it's less than half.
Well, actually, they said looking at people as of early February of 2026, track reports about 74% have no criminal convictions, looking at people currently in ICE detention. And when it comes to violent crime histories, they are a minor part of the ICE arrests, less than 14%.
Yeah.
And less than 2% had homicide or sexual assault charges or convictions. Now, keeping it clear, we all agree that anyone with a history of violent crimes with due process should get the heck out of Dodge.
Well, what about even beyond violent crimes, too? I mean, larceny, I'm
okay with that, too.
Yeah.
But the majority are in there with no criminal convictions.
Yeah, that either overstayed their visas or just came into the country illegally, have been working but don't have legal status.
Yes.
And I don't know, but what's your recourse there? I think it's to
elect. A pathway to citizenship.
Well, I agree, but then you're talking about getting Congress involved, and they're completely feckless and innocuous.
True. Which, again,
and
voting
impotent.
in November.
Yeah, so I think you got to vote the guy out.
Yeah.
I mean, that seems like your only chance of recourse in my view.
Okay, triple shot in transportation. That's coming up next on the Gee and Ursula Show.
KIRO News Radio is right there with you.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us.
On your smart speaker before you head out the door.
We continue to be in recovery mode on northbound I-5.
Watch live on YouTube or the KIRO Newsradio app.
Newfangled idea of having to see the people while they're talking.
The office, the gym, wherever you are.
Get on the YouTube channel. The whole gang's there.
KIRO News Radio. 97.3 FM. Powered by MyNorthwest.com.
Where you buy your vehicle matters. At Subaru of Puyallup, it's about safety for every drive, confidence in every season, and a buying experience that is stress-free. It starts with friendly experts who listen and continues with stress-free pricing, an easy process, and a genuine care that lasts the life of your Subaru. During the Subaru A Lot to Love event through March 31st, enjoy extra savings. Subaru of Puyallup, part of the Harnish Auto family. Visit SubaruofPuyallup.com, your stress-free dealership.
Pizza's here. Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Ready to free your team from time-consuming office tasks? Amazon Business empowers leaders with smart business buying tools, leaving time to focus on strategy and growth. Free up your teams and focus on your future at AmazonBusiness.com.
Get 5 quarts of Syntec Full Synthetic and a MicroGuard Select Oil Filter for just $32.99, plus 2 times points at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Limits apply.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm worried.
About what?
Water.
Oh?
Hot water, if you really want to know.
Water heater worries?
Worried it's wearing down.
Running out?
The hot doesn't last like it used to.
So you're...
worried.
I got a guaranteed fix.
Let me guess. A new water heater.
Right, but...
that's what worries me.
Well, worry no more.
Why?
What you need is an Apollo Plumbing water heater.
Because?
We include Wrenchy's worry-free warranty.
Wrenchy's what?
Worry-free warranty.
Which means?
When it wears out, we replace it.
No extra charge.
As an A-List Club member, you're covered for life.
For life?
For as long as you're an A-List member, you get annual life-extending water heater flushes included.
So it lasts longer.
Right.
And when it needs replacement,
you're covered.
With no worries.
Because it's Wrenchy's
worry-free warranty.
What else would you expect from the Ready Right Now plumbers?
Apollo Plumbing.
Home of Wrenchy's worry-free warranty.
What about tankless ones?
Worry-free too.
Gotta love that Wrenchy.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
Rovers leaking and rats are moving and molders creeping and water seeping in. It's hard to be a homeowner, we know.
Without American Crawl Space and Pest Services, it is hard to be a homeowner. Dave Ross here. American Crawl are the heroes to call for insulation and pest issues because in addition to their great reviews and decades of experience, they also give out the most PSE insulation rebates of any insulation company in the state.
American Crawl, the heroes you call.
Get your free inspection at AmericanCrawl.com.
At Uline, the prevailing opinion is, if you don't live it, you don't believe it. The people at Uline believe in hard work, and they live it by being there 24/7 to answer your call, having 41,000 items in stock, and offering same-day shipping from 12 locations across North America. Business owners, sellers, buyers, shippers, and packers believe it. Uline is the hard-working, dependable source for your shipping and industrial supplies. Visit uline.com.
At Skyline, senior living never sounded so good. The world feels bigger when you stay connected to ideas, to culture, to the things you love. We designed Skyline for today's older adults who celebrate life rooted in the city, not apart from it. At Seattle's only true life care community, premier music venues, museums, and culinary gems are just steps away. Urban senior living has an address. Discover it all at SkylineSeattle.org.
Why does it matter to members that Aetna was named a Best Medicare Advantage company by U.S. News & World Report? Because they chose a plan that gives them real support, real people, and real care. We show up on calls with members and doctors' offices when needed. We show up with access to convenient care options and coverage that fits everyday life. We don't show up for awards. We show up for you. And showing up for you is how healthier happens together.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to speak to a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Go to carsforkids.org now or call 877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to donate your car today.
1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Frank Lindsay. Today, the Supreme Court struck down President Trump's global tariffs under the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, handing the president a significant loss on an important aspect of his economic agenda. CBS News legal analyst Thane Rosenbaum.
Chief Justice Roberts writes the majority opinion and concludes that the International Emergency Economic Powers Act cannot be used by the president to impose tariffs because it does not mention tariffs as one of the powers it grants the president. It allows him or her to regulate imports and exports, but that's not the same thing. And of course, tariffs is a tax and therefore a congressional prerogative.
Congress has the constitutional authority to levy tariffs, but President Trump had argued that the International Emergency Economic Powers Act gave him the authority to do that without congressional approval. Linwood moving toward ending its contract with Flock safety license plate cameras amid growing privacy concerns.
Linwood City Council approved the contract in January of 2025. The first batch of the 25 cameras went live in June. Then in October, a report from the University of Washington came out saying out-of-state agencies access the Flock cameras through back doors.
That's KIRO 7's Dee Dee's son, who reports the Linwood City Council will vote Monday on whether to permanently turn off those cameras. Man was hit and killed by a train in Mukilteo on Thursday. This happened about 4:50 p.m. in the 8100 block of Nikita Beach Road. First responders found the man's body when they got there. He's not been identified. The wait's over for Mariners fans.
Swinging a drive deep to left field. This one's going up by the train. Goodbye baseball onto the tracks. Julio Rodriguez.
Mariners begin Cactus League play this afternoon, taking on the San Diego Padres for the first game of spring training. First pitch at 12:10. You can catch the game on 710 Seattle Sports. And we're also hearing from the new Seahawks offensive coordinator. Brian Fleury took the podium yesterday.
We're going to be fast and violent and aggressive in every way that we possibly can. Put pressure on defenses, both schematically and from a tempo standpoint, and just always have that type of mindset.
He was previously the tight ends coach for the 49ers. Now he joins the team to replace Clint Kubiak, who's the head coach now of the Las Vegas Raiders. Wall Street, the Dow down 135 points right now. The NASDAQ is up 74, and the S&P is up almost 8 points. KIRO News Radio traffic. Did have the Hood Canal Bridge shut down for a little while. It is open again, but expect delays. Also some delays as you head from Bellevue to Seattle across 520. Normally it would take you about 11 minutes. It's taking you about 20 minutes right now. This traffic report is brought to you by the Emerald Queen Casino. Get ready for a night of hard-hitting MMA excitement with WFC 190, April 25th at Emerald Queen Casino. Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest. KIRO News Radio weather. Cloudy all day today, and on the chilly side, 44 degrees. Scattered showers tomorrow with a high of 49. Sunday, on and off rain throughout the day. A little bit warmer, up to about 53. We've got 38 degrees right now in downtown Seattle. I'm Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
I'm their conduit, and I'm glad to do it.
Welcome back to the Gee and Ursula Show. Gee is out today. Greg Tomlin is in, and it is time for a triple shot of transportation. And Sully is here to. I know. Did I trigger you there?
No, I just don't.
You got big eyes.
I just don't know what I forgot. What I'm doing.
I'm going to help you. I'm going to help you because we're going to be talking about Orca going to tap to pay. So let's start there.
Okay, yeah, kind of interesting. Welcome to 2016. But no, so yeah, basically this is really guided towards the World Cup, and it's guided towards people who visit to our area. Most commuters will continue to use their Orca card, but yeah, starting today, you have the ability to just use your Apple Pay, your debit card, your credit card. Just tap those, so you don't have to worry about going and getting an Orca card, keeping a balance, keeping track of where you are on your Orca card. So if you use it seldomly, like I do, to go to baseball games or things like that, and you don't have time to get an Orca card, you could just tap your card and Apple Pay, your phone, whatever, and that's all it takes.
Is this a permanent change?
Yeah, this is what they're doing going forward. Now, there is some downside to this a little bit. Say, for instance, you're someone who qualifies for a reduced fare, or maybe you have a senior discount. You still need your Orca card for that. You get the full price will always be charged if you're just tapping by yourself. So that's just something to keep in mind. But again, if you use this enough that you keep an Orca card, chances are you're probably well aware what it is you need to do or not to do. But this is really for the people who use it very seldomly. Just gives you an opportunity to pay and not worry about it.
And Sully, maybe you can be my fact checker on the fly here, but last I read, it was something like 35 to 50% of people who ride light rail don't pay the fares. Is that true? That number? I mean, it's kind of it's still based on the honor system, right?
Double that.
Okay, so double that. It is part of the thinking here that maybe more people will pay if it's easier, less onerous to have to get an Orca card to get on. I mean, really, that was an astounding figure to me.
Well, no, it's been about
30 to 50.
It's
so
been about
60
70
to 100%.
It's been about
crazy.
70. Coming out of the pandemic and whatnot.
70% don't pay?
Correct, because there's virtually no enforcement and has been no enforcement. And that basically changed after they got rid of the transit police and they replaced them with fare ambassadors, because they can't ask you really technically to prove. They do, and you can basically tell them to kiss off, and there's nothing really
that was going to change.
They said they have upped the enforcement, and they can ask, but you can still say no.
That's just unacceptable. I'm sorry.
Again, Sound Transit has one of the worst fare recoupment stats in the country, because they don't require payment technically. And again, the reason Seattle's not a turnstile area, we don't do that. I think you could put some turnstiles up and get to your money. I mean, seriously, everybody should pay, right? We should. That's the right thing to do, but most people don't. I mean, and I think of the times where I use it. I have mistakenly twice not paid.
Mistakenly?
Yeah, because here's the thing. We're at a Mariner game. We're leaving. We're trying to catch like that first or second train. And you're running, like thousands of people are running to catch that train to go home. And you all just run in. And I realize I've run past the tap because I don't do it enough. The tap is like right at the beginning of the platform.
No excuse.
And I've done that twice leaving. But going to the games, when I'm not in a hurry, I'm like, we just forget about it. Because you're trying to catch that train.
That decision, Sully, is between you and your God.
Yeah, and I'm willing to admit it. I mean, I've done that mistakenly when you get caught up in that, but I don't recommend it. But I wish there was a better way to recoup the fares.
I just want to bring up something, because of the World Cup, suddenly we're able to go to tap to pay. How about we have that sense of urgency when it comes to getting what's the reason for we're not a turnstile
city? That's just their answer.
Is it just policy, or is it physically you're not able to do that?
No, that's their policy. We're not a turnstile city. And of course, there is a cost, or city, region, whatever. Yeah. We're not, that's not us. That's New York. That's what they've always told us. Now, we haven't talked about that in a little while. It'd be interesting to see if Dow finds a way to try to recoup some of that money, because you need to. They don't. I mean, they don't recover what they need to.
Financial issues?
Oh. They're only $30 billion behind in the red going forward. Not to mention how much over they are on so many other things, and those are their own numbers. So yeah, they've got problems with collecting. Now, of course, there's a cost ascribed to that.
Sure.
And will it keep people from using the train? I don't know. I mean, you look at for instance, Linwood, the beautiful Linwood Transit Center up there. The little Orca tap is right there at the beginning of the escalator to go up. Now, if you made that one turnstile, no one would ever make it to a train, because the line would be, so long. They'd have to redesign that whole bottom area of how you get on. You'd have to put the turnstile like at the parking garage or at the outer area. I'm not sure how it would work with the way it was designed, but it's something they should consider if they want their money.
Right. Okay, let's move to Highway 99, because I understand that is going to be a pain for a lot of people.
Yeah, this is is a problem. 99 First Avenue South Bridge. The two right lanes remain blocked. Last night, so Wednesday night into Thursday morning, they were doing an inspection on the First Avenue South Bridge. They didn't like what they saw. They were concerned about the condition of the steel bridge deck, which supports it. So because of that, they've shut down the two right lanes as a precaution, and they said it's going to be at least until March 6th before they come up with an idea of what's next. I'm expecting that to be a little sooner than that. And then if they have to do something, it may stay like this for a while. And this goes back to another one of my pet peeves and one of our endemic problems in the state is this goes right back to a lack of funding for maintenance and preservation. The First Avenue South Bridge hasn't had any, significant work done since 2020 when they replaced some panels, but they don't do the legislature's decided over the last 30 years to not spend money on priorities like this. They underfund maintenance and preservation by about $1 billion a year, choosing to put that money elsewhere. And that, you look at the poor folks in the town of Wilkeson, right there at the northwest corner of Mount Rainier. Their bridge shut down. Their lifeline shut down last April because they refused to try to keep it up. And now that community is basically dying on the vine. And this is going to happen and will probably happen to other bridges around our state, which are in bad condition. Bridges, roads, you name it. We just don't fund maintenance and preservation in this
Sounds
state.
Like penny wise, pound foolish.
Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense. But boy, those pet projects got built and taken care of really quickly, which we can get into later.
Yeah,
that was a sweeping statement.
Well, I just had a quick question before the break. The construction on 405 for all of us East Siders here.
This weekend will be okay.
Oh man,
this weekend will be okay. It's just a one-night full closure of westbound 522. But in a month, there are going to be 2 weekends in March where 405 will be closed entirely for a full weekend. 2 full weekends of 405 out of action. That's going to be insanely bad. The detour route for southbound is going to take you down 527 into Bothell proper. Basically, that entire neighborhood is going to be shut down for 2 full weekends because of construction. I talked about that on Monday. There's a story at mynorthwest.com on that, and I'll be keeping to follow that going forward. This weekend, manageable. Those 2 weekends, not. And next weekend's kind of the same thing. So strap in. It's going to be fun.
Thank you, Sully.
I'm nothing but good news, aren't I?
You are.
All the time.
And can we read about Mosquito Fleet, too?
Oh, the Mosquito Fleet. A fun little story at mynorthwest.com/choke points. Legislature wants to go to find what's old is new again to try to use the water to our advantage. Why not? It's there.
Well, exactly. As long as it just doesn't mean more money out of our pockets.
Yeah, well,
okay. Thanks, Sully.
Well, nothing's cheap and nothing is for free, Ursula.
This is true. Okay, still ahead. It is a Flex Friday. It's also time for us to share what we've done to make ourselves healthier. I stumbled last week. I did not do well last week, but I'm happy to tell one. So when I reported, I had to be honest. But this time, I'm happy to say I'm back on track. So we'll share our victories and everything else coming up next.
KIRO News Radio is right there with you.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us.
On your smart speaker before you head out the door.
We continue to be in recovery mode on northbound I-5.
Watch live on YouTube or the KIRO News Radio app.
Newfangled idea of having to see the people while they're talking.
The office, the gym, wherever you are.
Get on the YouTube channel. The whole gang's there.
KIRO News Radio. 97.3 FM. Powered by mynorthwest.com.
Our family doesn't just buy cars from Carter Subaru. We stick with them. We're repeat customers, as I've been telling you. I drive an Outback, and my husband drives a Forester. And the reason is simple. The reason we keep going back to Carter Subaru is because they truly care about people, their customers, their employees, and the community, which they've been a part of for decades. There's no pressure, no sales games, just honest conversations, and a fantastic team that treats you like you're going to be back because they know you will be. free. Carter is Seattle's only Subaru dealership. They have over 700 Subarus on the lot right now. It is the biggest selection in Washington. And for a limited time, you can get the 2025 Subaru Crosstrek starting at 2.9% financing. Carter Subaru in Shoreline or Ballard or cartersubaru.com.
On approved credit, subject to vehicle insurance and availability. A documentary service fee may be added to the sale price or capitalized cost. See dealer for details. Valid through 3/2/26.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit revivemenshealth.com.
KIRO News Radio.
Get on the YouTube channel.
We're live all day on YouTube. Every show, every day.
Hang out with us. The whole gang's there.
And you never know what you might see.
Back up the camera. Oh, my God.
Just search KIRO News Radio, then subscribe.
Comcast Business helps turn today's small businesses into engines of modern business. It's how restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. How retailers become seamlessly restocking, cyber-securing must-visit shops. And how healthcare offices become the data managing caregivers that we all depend on. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, advanced fiber solutions, and Wi-Fi backup, Comcast Business is powering the engine of modern business. Powering possibilities.
Now through March 22nd, switch to Comcast Business and get started with 150 megabit internet plus Security Edge for $59.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Or ask how to lock in your rate for 5 years on a qualifying internet bundle and get a $500 prepaid card when you add 2 lines of mobile for a limited time only. Call today. Restrictions apply. New customers only. Requires paperless billing and automatic payments with bank account. Equipment, taxes, and other fees extra. After promo, regular rates apply.
This might be the most surprising statistic I've shared in decades of doing local news. More than 75% of commuters will be involved in a car accident at some point. JP Pendergast of Pendergast Law with more.
What makes it more surprising? The average person will be involved in 3 to 4 collisions in their lifetime.
With accidents unbelievably prevalent, what are some safety tips if it happens to you?
Safety first. Secondary collisions are not uncommon while awaiting help. Turn on those hazards and remain in a safe place. If a bystander witnessed the accident, capture their information and encourage them to remain at the scene. Seek medical attention immediately if needed, as delaying can be a costly mistake. Lastly, remember that statements made to police and insurance adjusters can affect your case.
Collisions are more common than we'd like to think. If you find yourself in one, follow these helpful tips and then call my friends at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one's injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
PendergastLaw.com.
It is 9:47, and you're listening to the Gee and Ursula Show. Gee is out today. Greg Tomlin is in. And Greg, on Fridays, we fess up.
Yeah.
We talk about what we've done to try to keep ourselves healthy. And the reason this all started is because a couple of months ago, I went to the doctor, and she told me one of her prescriptions for me was that I prescribe you to go to the gym or work out or do something, lift some weights at least once a week. And she said, the next time I see you in 3 months, I don't want you to, this has to be something that is part of your routine. And I loved it. She said, you know what? You turn 60, you want to live a long time, and you don't want to be trying to travel and you can't get around. Right?
I do like it when doctors tell it to you straight and they don't beat around the bush.
And she wasn't mean about it. She wasn't saying anything other than, because I said, yeah, I need to, and I was like, oh, I'll go 3 times a week. And she said, no, don't say you'll do 3 times a week. I want you to say you're going to do 1 time a week. So I shared that with Gee, and then we thought, well, let's do this Flex Friday, because the best way to be accountable is to have others do it with you.
Without question.
So I just saw a text from Nikki who said that, yes, she was able to get out and do, I can't remember what she just said. Oh, she said she worked out on the trampoline, which is great.
Oh.
You know what I did? I took off some laundry off of my little bike in the downstairs basement, that bike that's been sitting there. I'm doing a pedaling motion right now. And I was reminded, hey, that's one thing I can do without having to go to the gym, because that's part of it for me too. I don't get enough sleep. And so if I go home, it is so hard for me to get out of the house again that it's like I need to find ways to do exercise while I'm at home or if I'm at home. And so I also dusted off some barbells from the garage. So that has helped too. But then I also went to the gym last night. So I kind of made up, because the week before I had to fess up. I was like, fell. I mean, I was like 4 weeks in, or 3 or 4 weeks in. But text us right now, Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line, 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. I think Sophia was going to post on our Gee and Ursula Show Facebook page. I want everyone to do a check-in, whoever's kind of joined us. And I want you to share a journey that you've been on.
Yeah, so about 2.5-3 weeks ago, I started taking a GLP-1 after a year or two of kind of just investigating and reading stories about people who are taking GLP-1s and trying to get my own house in order, so to speak, in terms of my health, my weight, etc. And I finally just said, Doc, I give up. You know, I'm in the danger zone, starting to enter that time in my life. Ursula, I'm 43 years old, 300 pounds. And, you know, I got 3 kids at home. And you're really starting to roll the dice as you get older and you meet that morbidly obese definition. And I've sort of yo-yoed with my weight for many years. You probably remember 10 years ago, I lost about 100 pounds.
Yeah, I do.
That was strictly willpower, food journal, daily workouts on an exercise bike, which I still have collecting dust in our bedroom that I bought on Craigslist years ago. And I had to sort of eat humble pie and just, in many ways, I had to come to grips with the fact that I had just sort of failed. And I do feel comfortable talking about it that way, Ursula, because
I know I'm cringing. You failed, but like so many of us do, it's like
But let's break it down to what it truly is. And I admit, I'll be the first one to admit, and it's personal for me, that it's a failure of self-control. And I basically just had to admit, like almost like AA, that I'm powerless in the face of this. And I see GLP-1s working for almost everybody. And I was longing for a reset. So I've taken 3 shots to date. I've probably lost about 5 pounds to this point, and it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. And I'm optimistic, and I find what people say about these drugs to be true. Is it a drug?
It is a drug.
Yeah, okay, drug. In that it just sort of calms the voices in your head.
It does.
Which is bizarre to me. But then it's also opened up my mind to think about other stuff throughout the day, which is astounding, that just jabbing myself in the belly with a needle and injecting 0.5 mLs or whatever of this thing can just sort of quiet the urges and the impulses that I've had for so many years. And again, I'm optimistic. I think that I will probably grow immune to the dosage that I'm at. I can see how those dynamics would play out in the long term. I need to up the dosage. So I'm just beginning. But I will say, it might be unpopular, but I really had to concede that this was sort of a failure on my part. But thank God there's this tool that I can use that might give me a little aid or a little boost in the right direction.
And before we go on, because I want to explore this a little bit more, even though we don't have a ton of time.
Yeah.
We are not pushing this. You are not endorsing this. We are not getting paid to talk about this.
Nope.
But let's just have a reality check. There are millions and millions of people who are taking these medications. Some people will say, Greg, you're a cop-out. I've admitted that I'm on a GLP-1. And it did help me lose 30 pounds, but I have been kind of struggling with, you've got to do the work, which is another reason why my doctor said, no excuses.
Right.
You have to increase your activity. I mean, and there are drawbacks I mean, there are side effects, there are potential medical issues that could come up by taking these medications. And I want to make sure that we throw that
And people
right
can
out
abuse
there.
them.
And people can abuse them, and some people, and they can create more problems. So you, on a personal level, had to weigh whether the pros outweighed the cons.
Yes, the trade-off.
Yes,
and
because
for
there are
me,
trade-offs.
At this point in time, I deemed it necessary to start this. But you're exactly right. And we are in a profession where we're rather sedentary, and I work remotely a lot. And so the biggest challenge is to not only sort of lower the food intake, but also just get off our butts and get moving, whether that's a walk around the street or your neighborhood, or just getting active on, you can find cheap exercise bikes on Craigslist for $100, $200. Just get on that thing if you don't like working out in front of other people, but there are ways to do it.
Well, one of the things that I found, because I know that every night, as Sophia has learned, very late at night, I am doing show prep. And one of the things I did, I dusted off those hand weights. And I was like, well, while I'm doing my show prep, I might as well just move something.
And have you noticed, Ursula, that everything at the grocery store now is packed with protein? That's the GLP-1 effect.
Well, it is, but you get enough water?
I actually drink a lot of water.
Yeah, okay, because that's another thing that's really, really big. And again, we're not pushing any product or anything like that, but we're trying to help each other stay accountable. I want you to be around a long time. I want to be around a long time.
Likewise, yep.
Okay, share, text us, 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. What did you do this past week to help get yourself in, and I'm not talking even just physical, just in better health. How's that? Okay, so more of the Gee and Ursula Show coming up.
You never know what's in store each morning once you hit the road.
We've got a major traffic alert in effect right now.
While you're getting ready every morning, make us part of your routine.
What morning, huh?
Yeah. Got off to an early start.
Just tell your smart speaker to play KIRO News Radio or stream us on the app.
Both directions of I-5 are closed.
We'll help you get where you're going faster.
Maybe bail at 512.
KIRO News Radio. We're on your smart speaker, the app, and 97.3 FM.
It's clogged again.
Your drain?
Just had it cleared.
You didn't call Apollo Plumbing.
How can you tell?
Because your drain's clogged again.
So frustrating.
We can clear that drain.
That's what the last guy said.
We'll clear it, guaranteed.
He said that too.
Apollo Plumbing will clear your drain, or it's free.
Wait, what?
Apollo Plumbing clears your drain.
Or it's free?
Yep.
What's the catch?
No catch.
Fine print?
Apollo Plumbing clears your main drain for $83.
$83, or it's free?
And we'll even give you a camera inspection.
Because?
It's the best way to find what's causing your clog.
But that's extra.
Nope, included.
No extra charge?
Not 1 cent.
$83, or it's free.
All it takes is an accessible outside cleanout.
And an Apollo plumber.
No clog is safe from Apollo Plumbing.
And just like that, my main drain is...
draining again.
How can you...
Apollo plumbers are that good.
$83, or it's free.
You call, we come.
My drain's draining again.
Guaranteed.
$83, or it's free.
As it should be.
Apollo Plumbing.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
Jen, I didn't know you shopped here.
Hey, I'm hunting for something fresh for spring.
Oh, girl, skip them all. Jewelry Television has the best spring looks right now.
JTV, way ahead of you. Just hit up JTV.com yesterday, scored the cutest clover earrings, 2 tennis bracelets, and this gorgeous pearl ring.
Right now, new customers get $20 off any purchase of $99 or more at JTV.com.
Oh, and gold hoops and this turquoise bracelet.
Just a couple things, huh?
Maybe more than a couple.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-959-3388. That's 800-959-3388.
It's a bully, but we aren't afraid of a fight. It's elusive, but our focus never fades. It's deadly, but we were born to defeat cancer. You may not have heard of us, but our work has helped millions impacted by cancer. We are the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. We are leaders in advancing breakthroughs in immunotherapy, genomics, and personalized medicine. This research saves lives. After 65 years of fighting blood cancers, we've arrived at a game-changing belief. The cures for cancer are in our blood. The drugs and treatments we've developed for blood cancers have helped people affected by many different types of cancers. We are the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. Beating cancer is in our blood. Learn more at LLS.org.
For nearly 50 years, over 90,000 homeowners have trusted Home Comfort Alliance, including me. John Curley here. Save up to $2,000 on a new Lennox heating and cooling system. Schedule your free consultation at HomeComfortAlliance.com. Call the comfort people at Home Comfort Alliance.
We're the home of your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
They are bringing the Lombardi back to the Northwest.
KIRO FM and HD1 Tacoma, Seattle.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by JTV.com.
I'm Cammie McCormick. The Supreme Court has struck down President Trump's global tariffs, a huge loss on an issue critical to his economic agenda. Trump is expected to respond to the decision shortly. CBS's Jan Crawford.
This is the most significant loss for a U.S. president in modern history. It is invalidating what is the cornerstone of President Trump's economic policy, ruling that he does not have authority under this federal law, the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, to levy these sweeping tariffs on almost every trading partner worldwide.
I'm Allison Keyes in Washington. Republican Ohio Senator Bernie Moreno is blasting the court's decision, saying the outrageous ruling handcuffs our right against unfair trade. But Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer ripped what he calls Trump's chaotic and illegal tariff tax and calls the court's decision a win.
Jeff Gilbert has reaction from Detroit.
Carmakers are not likely to back off on new investments, even as they figure out how this ruling impacts their business. Many auto tariffs remain in place. Stephanie Brindley of S&P Global Mobility says the overall impact remains unclear.
It just continues a situation of uncertainty, and that's been one of the most difficult things to work through.
Tariffs so far have cost carmakers a combined $8 billion. Jeff Gilbert, CBS News, Detroit.
The economy grew at a slower rate than expected during the fourth quarter. Gross domestic product rose at an annual rate of just 1.4%, down from 4.4% in the third quarter. Bankrate's Mark Hamrick blames the last government shutdown.
That could account for a little more than 1 percentage point. So we would be looking at an economy that would be otherwise humming along had it not been for the federal government shutdown.
New York City's largest nursing strike in decades may be nearing an end. More from Michael Wallace.
The union representing more than 4,000 nurses at the New York Presbyterian Hospital System has reached a tentative deal with management. It includes 12% pay raises over 3 years, new staffing levels, and protections from workplace violence. Members like Jennifer Lynch have until tomorrow to vote on the deal. In the meantime,
we are still out here because we're fighting for our staffing enforcement, and our job security.
A new study finds 1 in 7 Americans has a kidney disease, and 90% don't even know it. Dr. Samir Parikh.
9 out of 10 people who have kidney diseases, it's totally silent. So you've got this silent epidemic that's just spreading around the country.
He says there are simple tests, but not enough doctors to prescribe them. On Wall Street today, stocks are higher now. The Dow up 50 points. This is CBS News.
Looking for spring jewelry looks? Find them at Jewelry Television. New customers get $20 off purchases of $99 or more at JTV.com.
We're hearing from Washington's congressional delegation on the Supreme Court's ruling on tariffs. But first, KIRO Newsradio traffic. Northbound 5 just south of the West Seattle Bridge. We've got a crash blocking the HOV lane. A couple of things have cleared in the last half hour. In Tacoma, we had a vehicle fire northbound 5 at 84th Street. Was blocking 2 right lanes. It is now out of the way. Also had a crash earlier on the 520 off-ramp to I-5 North. That, too, is out of the way. But we have some police activity that may be slowing you down in Seattle. With that breaking news, here's Sully.
Yeah, just taking a look, Frank, at the live cameras here. SPD doing an investigation that have blocked the northbound lanes of 1st Avenue South right at the Spokane Street Viaduct. Looks like they have 1 patient that they're taking off in an ambulance. But right now, those 2 lanes are blocked. People are getting around it in the center turn lane. Not too big of a deal, but just something to keep in mind as you're heading up into Soto.
Thank you, Sully. This traffic report brought to you by Subaru of Puyallup. Visit Subaru of Puyallup for friendly experts, transparent pricing, genuine care, and savings during the Subaru A Lot to Love event through March 31st. SubaruofPuyallup.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Frank Lindsay. A divided Supreme Court has overturned President Trump's global tariffs. U.S. Senator Maria Cantwell welcomed the decision, saying tariffs have driven up prices for consumers.
We need to really be concerned about America's competitiveness, and thank God the court has given us some relief.
The majority found the Constitution very clearly gives Congress the power to impose taxes, which include tariffs. The framers did not vest any part of the taxing power in the executive branch, Chief Justice John Roberts wrote. But in the dissenting opinion, Justice Brett Kavanaugh argued the policy was lawful, writing the tariffs may or may not be wise, but fit within the historical and legal precedent. Meanwhile, Senator Cantwell and Washington election officials are pushing back against a Trump-backed voter ID bill that's now moving through Congress. Critics say the Save America Act would require documentary proof of citizenship to register and could burden seniors, rural voters, and others already served by Washington's mail-in voter system. Copper wire thieves disrupting light rail service yet again. One-line service disrupted between Angle Lake and Federal Way downtown, and two-line service suspended between Bellred and downtown Redmond stations. Seattle Times reports the one-line disruption is because of copper wire theft. This happened back on February 11th during the Seahawks parade, but apparently the damage is worse this time. We don't know yet how long it will take to get things fixed. KIRO News Radio weather is calling for cloudy skies and a high of 44 this afternoon. Scattered showers tomorrow, 49 degrees, and then on Sunday, more showers in the forecast. It will be a little bit warmer. We'll get into the 50s, about 53 or so. Rain and 50 on Monday. Still chilly out there right now. It is 35 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Oh, yeah, it is Fresh Fridays, as G likes to say, and we are moving along. We are on the second hour of the Gee and Ursula Show. Sure appreciate you. G is out today. Greg Tomlin is in. Good morning, Greg.
Good morning, Ursula.
Hey, coming up at 10:30, are kids less cognitively capable than we are? Who in the heck put this question here? Actually, Greg, you brought something up, and you're going to do some story time coming up at 10:30.
Looking forward to it.
And I think parents definitely want to listen to this. As always, we invite you to join us on the Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line, 888-973-5476, 888-973-KIRO.
What's new at 10?
And it has been the top story this morning. The Supreme Court has now pulled an emergency brake on President Trump's sweeping tariffs. And KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey joins us live now, because you've been digging into this ever since this broke this morning. We all want to understand, how's this going to work now?
Yeah, what it is and what it isn't. Let's
Yes.
kind of start there. So
Yes.
6 out of 9 justices, what they're saying is the Constitution gives the power of tariffs under IEPA, or the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, to Congress, not to the president. There might be other statutes that will allow a president to impose tariffs, but basically what the court is saying is the president can regulate trade, but just can't impose taxes to do it. I just spoke with former Republican State Attorney General Rob McKenna, and he told me he was not surprised by the court's opinion.
The U.S. Supreme Court is, not a toady for the administration. They're reading the law, and they're reading the Constitution, and they're rendering judgment. I think that the Supreme Court did its job today.
And he says partly because the real downfall here is the administration was using open-ended tariffs globally to try and drive the U.S. economy to cut the national debt. I think the figure was $2.5 trillion over the next decade. The court says you can't do that. In contrast, other presidents have used tariffs on specific goods like steel for a specific period of time. And of course, now there's a lot of fallout from this as well.
Sure. So you've been getting reacts from a lot of folks. Rob McKenna, I saw that Senator Cantwell has also weighed in on this. What does this mean, though, for us as average consumers?
Yeah, great question. Along those lines, let me just say that the government now has to pay back all the tariffs they've collected, which is in the billions and billions of dollars. So that's one thing to keep in mind in the context of answering that question. It should mean for consumers, and we're hearing from Governor Ferguson, he's applauding this, and so is Senator Cantwell as well, prices will go down. on everything that we've seen prices go up on that have been imported. But for domestically, for companies here that are getting that money back, McKenna says there's a big question now because they'll get billions back, and some have actually sued to get the money back before this opinion from the Supreme Court. Here's what McKenna said about that.
Will they use that money to, reduce the price of goods and make goods cheaper, or will they just keep it? It's not clear.
Yeah, so in other words, companies get money back. Are they going to then give relief to consumers? Are they going to keep their prices high anyway for a period of time? Or are they going to say, nope, everything's good now, we're going to reduce our prices? We'll have to see.
Yeah, in terms of these refunds, Supreme Court Justice Amy Coney Barrett says it seems to me like it could be a mess, though manageable and not entirely impossible, because apparently tariff bills are computerized and it would be straightforward to identify which payments are eligible for refunds. But for clarification, Luke, this doesn't affect all of Trump's imposed tariffs, correct? Just only a portion of them that were under emergency powers, right?
Correct.
So there's still about half of the tariffs that are still in place.
This was a huge chunk that was wiped out, yes. But yes, only under that Emergency Powers Act, because there's nothing in that act in the Constitution that mentions anything about the executive branch. That's the point, and that's what the Supreme Court found. Now, those three dissenting justices said, basically, and I'm paraphrasing, what they wrote was, okay, the president has the power to regulate trade, and yeah, taxes are part of that. The other six said, no, it's not a part of that. So, what does that mean for businesses here now in the port of Seattle and Tacoma? It's another great question. Well, it means if you're importing goods, again, good news, prices should go down. But for businesses that export, here's the deal. Because those IEEPA, let's call them IEEPA tariffs, because they're wiped out, it doesn't mean that tariffs that have been imposed by other countries in reaction, reciprocal tariffs, doesn't mean those go away. They don't have to get rid of those tariffs. So what they and if they keep them, say like China, we're a huge exporter, this state. Boeing items, for aircraft, timber, seafood, soy, wheat, corn, electrical energy. Well, prices on those exports are going to go up and remain up as long as other tariffs from other countries are imposed. So it's going to hurt businesses in that regard. Now, the ports are always a great barometer. All you have to do when you're driving along I-5 is look down at our ports. And if you see in the next couple months there are more and more containers, what that will mean is an indicator that exports are not going well and containers are just sitting there because they cost a lot. And
usually it's a delayed reaction, too. So it takes a while before you see that. My son used to work for a freight forwarding company, and they had to deal with the tariffs. And every day it was it changed every single day. And they're working directly with importers who are trying to figure all this out. I think what you both said, you said it earlier, Greg, and you've said it again, Luke, and Rob McKenna mentioned it, that it was refreshing to see that the Supreme Court didn't just go on party lines, but actually looked at it and said, yeah, this is actually a job that Congress needs to be doing, not whether it's a Republican president or a Democratic president. You don't want them to have unilateral
they did their jobs
to impose taxes.
Yeah,
yes,
they interpreted
exactly.
the law. And Luke, any reaction from the president yet? I see that he's about to speak here live from the White House, but really, this is a tremendous blow to one of the hallmarks of his economic policy.
Yeah, and let's be clear, this is a part of economic policy, a domestic economic policy as well, trying to drive down the deficit and leveraging deals around the world to try to do that. It looks like that's backfiring. He might say something about it here. I imagine he will.
Do you think it'll just be a scathing critique of the Supreme Court?
Well, he called it a disgrace somewhere.
Yes.
So
will he be likely to announce other measures he wants to take now in light of this?
Let's talk about that a little bit as well. He can now lobby Congress and get Congress to give him the power to tariff, especially under IEEPA. Congress can do that and give him the power to do that. He has been vocal on this in the past. In January, remember on social media, he said if the court makes this the opinion and decision that, quote, we're screwed and we would face economic disaster. He's probably going to touch on that as well. But I also want to just, everyone listening, keep in mind, because we're all the consumers, and we're the ones that always get hammered down on these kinds of things. These companies that get their money back, the billions and billions of dollars, you're not going to get a refund probably but you paid extra money for those goods that were imported during this tariff war, and we all did. We're all in that boat, and you know what? We're not gonna. That's money that's just gone. It's gone forever.
Any evidence to date that these tariffs have had any impact on domestic manufacturing, production, industry in the United States of America, bringing industry back that has fled for so many years? It seems to me that there's limited indications, if any, that this has resulted in those kind of things.
Not significantly, no.
Yeah.
There isn't a measurable significance. There is a measurable insignificance when, say, I go to Canada and go to Whistler to ski, and I go into the liquor store to buy a nice bottle of wine for the evening, and all the American wine is cleared off the shelf.
Yep, that's where you see it.
And we're not very welcome there
No.
in some people's eyes. So, again, back to the consumers, we're the ones taking the brunt of all of this.
Yes, and the companies that import these products. Luke, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Okay, we here in the U.S. are getting a lot of scrutiny from other countries because of how we in the U.S., I should say the Justice Department, has handled the information tied to the Epstein files. And I don't know how closely you've been watching over what has been released, what has not been released.
It's not my
what's been
favorite
redacted.
subject to consume copious amounts of, but I have stayed in the know. Yes.
It is painful and infuriating. But earlier this week, you heard that former Prince Andrew was arrested in the United Kingdom over allegations that he disclosed trade secrets to Jeffrey Epstein.
And just released, even though the investigation continues. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. I mean, did you see the pictures of him in a car after his arrest? I mean, this was unprecedented.
I mean, he's been shunned by the royal family, probably rightly
but
so.
now he actually was in custody.
Yeah, kind of wild.
Wild. But at the same time, the lobbying firm led by Lord Mandelson, the former British ambassador to the United States, has reportedly entered administration following a wave of client departures. This is according to The Independent. But we look at what's going on here in this country and who's being held accountable, and it's practically crickets. And Gloria Allred is an attorney who represents Epstein's victims, and she told BBC Radio that the United States has to take a lot stronger action.
The UK is ahead of the United States in demanding some accountability from powerful men who were part of Jeffrey Epstein's social and business circles. And in contrast to the United States, there has been no accountability in the criminal justice system and no meaningful accountability in the civil justice system in the United States for powerful men who have conspired with Jeffrey Epstein to sexually abuse or sex traffic children and adult female victims.
And in the past couple of weeks, the Epstein files have put a spotlight on one particular LA power broker, Casey Wasserman, after the files revealed decades-old emails that he had with Ghislaine Maxwell, who was Epstein's basically right-hand person, sometimes girlfriend, curator of. It's just all of it is disgusting and horrifying, and we don't even know. I don't think the half of it.
Well. And I'll try to thread the needle here with some comments, but Jeffrey Epstein, despicable human being, convicted sexual predator, despicable, grotesque, now deceased human being, also probably a sociopath and a narcissist, right? I listened to the New York Times daily podcast on this twice, actually, because they had a lot of great information in there. The last Epstein files dump, I think, included about 3.5 million documents, okay? 3.5 million documents. And they were mainly pertaining to the era of 2009, I think up to 2019. So after his initial conviction in 2008 for procuring prostitution of an underage girl below the age of 18. So that's fascinating because he served a prison sentence for that of about, I think the initial sentence was 18 months. He served 13 months and then got out of jail. So those that chose to continue to have a relationship with him, I mean, awful, right?
Should have known.
Well, should have known better, right? But is it a crime, Ursula, to have social and business ties to a person? And so all we have is concrete evidence. So what I garnered from this New York Times coverage on this is that after his conviction in 2008, Jeffrey Epstein decided to change his tactics. And so after that, his main procurement was of women roughly between the ages of 18 and 23, and they mainly came from Eastern Europe and Russian women, and he was kind of running this virtual or digital harem of women kind of entering in the country, and he would make promises to them, and then he would like make them his girlfriend, and then he'd send them back and not fulfill his promises, and he would just do devious, awful, contentious, despicable behavior. But in this reporting, there's a lot of names that come up of very influential elite level status males in proximity to him.
Yes.
But there's yet to be evidence of a widespread sex ring involving underage girls in 3.5 million documents,
but
right?
Do you know how many 3.5 million? That sounds like a lot, but there are many, many more that were not released.
Many more.
And a lot of information that was redacted.
Some of it's redacted,
And a lot of it's redacted, and apparently other countries are giving unredacted versions of what's in these files. And my point
who makes
would be,
those judgments to what to redact and not?
And Todd Blanche, the one who was overseeing all of this,
Mm-hmm.
he's got way too many personal connections to President Trump. And again, if we
Trump's
all agree,
name comes up in this latest documents dump, but it's usually with Epstein being critical of him. They had a close relationship in the 80s and 90s, mainly over the subject of sexual conquest, and then they had that famous sort of falling out.
Again, of the things that have been released. And what needs to happen is everyone needs to get on the same page that we're all against pedophilia. We're all against child sex trafficking.
100%.
And everything should just be released. And if you don't have anything to hide, you don't have anything to hide. If anything, it clears your name. But there are folks here who are suddenly like pretending that they've never met Jeffrey Epstein.
Oh, yeah, it's ridiculous.
Or, oh, gosh, I regret that relationship that I have. Yeah, you said you might not have actually committed a crime, but if you are in the purview and if you are in the vicinity of someone who is committing it, I say you're about as bad, if not as bad.
Well, and you at least warrant more investigation about your ongoing relationship and the full extent of it, for sure, without question.
Absolutely.
But what do you make of that dynamic of other countries seeming to
they're taking it seriously,
taking a much more tougher stance on the people who had anything to do with him whatsoever?
Yeah, what they're doing basically is.
What's the fallout been for like a Deepak Chopra or even a Bill Clinton here in the United States?
Well, Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton said they will actually speak and they will agree to testify, and they're encouraging others to do the same. It's like that's what we should all be
wanting.
If you
have nothing to hide.
If you have nothing to fight, you're going to do it. Yeah.
Right.
Okay, I want to bring something up because for years, Alyssa Liu was that kid prodigy who was amazing. I want to talk about the Olympics real quick, and I'm making
We're
a
gonna
big
lighten it up.
We're going to lighten it up because her story is incredible. Her story is incredible, and in fact, I want to get into it a little bit more because we're not going to have time to do it. But if you haven't been following, she is the young woman who won the gold medal in individual ice skating. And she was the youngest women's champion in the U.S. when she was only 13 years old in 2019. And she defended the title again in 2020, but then she walked away from skating entirely when she was 16. It was in 2022. She said she was just totally burned out. She wanted to be a normal teenager. She finished high school, started going to school at UCLA, but then she got the skating bug again, and she decided to return to competitive skating. But she said, you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm not going to be chasing the medals. I'm going to do it the way I want to do it. I'm going to do it how I want to do it, when I want to do it. And her coaches were like, you're crazy to be doing this. But she came back in 2024. She won the world championship in 2025. And at that time, she talked to 60 Minutes.
Do you feel any kind of pressure that now I've got to do the Olympics and I need to win gold?
No. Actually, I'm really excited because my goal, honestly, is just to hype people up, give them an experience, whether it's negative or positive. As long as people are feeling some strong emotions and anticipation, I'm fine with that.
Now, I just ask everybody, if you didn't watch it already, to go watch her gold medal winning skate, because you could see just pure joy. You could see that she had not a care in the world, and she landed everything. And she won with that flawless performance, and she ended a 24-year drought for Team USA. And this was her on NBC afterward.
My performance was just everything I wanted, and I'm so happy that I got the chance to be be on an Olympic stage again and show off what I have made for myself, I guess. And I just hope that this inspires other people. And I don't know, I'm just really grateful for this moment. And I do wish that this free skate never ended. I really liked the energy I had in it. And I don't know, it was such a vibe.
I mean, it was such a vibe. But what I love, I mean, her story, I think, teaches all of us something.
Yeah, pretty crazy that the last time the U.S. Figure skating in the women's category took a gold was 6 years before she was born.
Right.
And she's only, 18 years old right now?
Yeah, isn't she 20?
18 or 19?
Yeah.
Which is wild. But what do you attribute this to? Do you think that reset just sort of did something to her psyche and her ability to perform at a different level?
She did it her way. She took a break.
She did it her way.
Well, she did. And she said she took a break, and that wasn't failure. That was, you know what? Maybe I need a reset. Maybe I need to focus on my mental health.
Sometimes you're so deep into something, you need to pull back and then re-enter to give you a new appreciation or sort of like a fresh set of eyes about the activity you're participating in.
I mean, it was amazing. Absolutely amazing. Okay, still ahead, we've got more of the Gee and Ursula Show coming up.
This is what it's all about, right?
The Seahawks win Super Bowl 60.
The pure joy.
To beat the Patriots, especially in the 49ers stadium, it means everything.
It's a great time to be alive for Seattle fans.
It's why we're 12s.
Just like Mike McDonald said, we did not care.
We got a parade to get to.
Seattle will hold a victory parade Wednesday.
We are the home of your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
They are bringing the Lombardi back to the Northwest.
KIRO Newsradio.
How can you grow your business from idea to industry leader? With smart business buying tools and technology from Amazon Business. From fast, free shipping to in-depth buying insights and automated purchase approvals, we deliver everything you need. Go to amazonbusiness.com for support.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
Imagine finding your dream home and moving in right away. No waiting to sell your old place first. Sounds perfect, right? That's exactly what Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program lets you do. Buy your new home now and sell the old one later. Here's how it works. Orchard gives you cash so you can buy and move into your new home first, on your timeline. No waiting, no showings, no double moves. Then the Orchard experts take it from there. They handle repairs on your old home for you so you attract the right buyers. Once they're done, a local Orchard agent lists and sells your home for top dollar. Orchard's Move First program gives you the freedom to buy and move into your new home first and sell your old home later. Buy before you sell and get top dollar for your home with Orchard. Ready to find out how much your home is worth? Visit Orchard.com to get your free home valuation. That's Orchard.com.
Jen, I didn't know you shopped here.
Hey, I'm hunting for something fresh for spring.
Oh, girl, skip them all. Jewelry Television has the best spring looks right now.
JTV, way ahead of you. Just hit up JTV.com yesterday. Scored the cutest clover earrings, 2 tennis bracelets, and this gorgeous pearl ring.
Right now, new customers get $20 off any purchase of $99 or more at JTV.com.
Oh, and gold hoops and this turquoise bracelet.
Just a couple things, huh?
Maybe more than a couple.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, Call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-959-3388. That's 800-959-3388.
I'm worried.
About what?
Water.
Oh?
Hot water, if you really want to know.
Water heater worries?
Worried it's wearing down.
Running out?
The hot doesn't last like it used to.
So you're...
worried.
I got a guaranteed fix.
Let me guess. A new water heater.
Right, but...
That's what worries me.
Well, worry no more.
Why?
What you need is an Apollo Plumbing water heater.
Because?
We include Wrenchy's worry-free warranty.
Wrenchy's what?
Worry-free warranty.
Which means?
When it wears out, we replace it.
No extra charge.
As an A-List Club member, you're covered for life.
For life?
For as long as you're an A-List member. You get annual life-extending water heater flushes included.
So it lasts longer.
Right.
And when it needs replacement,
you're covered.
With no worries.
Because it's Wrenchy's
worry-free warranty.
What else would you expect from the Ready Right Now plumbers?
Apollo Plumbing.
Home of Wrenchy's worry-free warranty.
What about tankless ones?
Worry-free too.
Gotta love that Wrenchy.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
Carter Subaru is Seattle's only Subaru dealer with the largest selection of Subarus in Washington. With over 800 vehicles in stock, they have exactly what you're looking for with savings you'll love. Visit Carter Subaru in Shoreline and Ballard or anytime at cartersubaru.com.
Jen, I didn't know you shopped here.
Hey, I'm hunting for something fresh for spring.
Oh, girl, skip them all. Jewelry Television has the best spring looks right now.
JTV, way ahead of you. Just hit up JTV.com yesterday, scored the cutest clover earrings, 2 tennis bracelets, and this gorgeous pearl ring.
Right now, new customers get $20 off any purchase of $99 or more at JTV.com.
Oh, and gold hoops and this turquoise bracelet.
Just a couple things, huh?
Maybe more than a couple.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning. I'm Frank Lindsay. U.S. Supreme Court struck down President Trump's far-reaching global tariffs today, handing him a significant loss on an issue critical to his economic agenda. The president weighing in on that just moments ago.
The Supreme Court's ruling on tariffs is deeply disappointing, and I'm ashamed of certain members of the court, absolutely ashamed, for not having the courage to do what's right for our country. Foreign countries that have been ripping us off for years are ecstatic. They're so happy. And they're dancing in the streets, but they won't be dancing for long. That I can assure you.
Meanwhile, Washington Democratic U.S. Senator Maria Cantwell is praising the ruling.
Today's decision is so important because consumers all over our state and the country have been hurt. Small businesses, manufacturers, individual households have all had to pay higher prices on product that they can't afford.
You can thank copper wire thieves for disruptions to light rail service today. Wires were ripped in Federal Way, suspending train service between Angle Lake at Federal Way. Thieves also ripped wire in Redmond, suspending service between the Bellred Station and downtown Redmond. Comedian Drewski talking about butchering Jackson Smith-Njigba's name a couple weeks ago at the NFL Honors while presenting him with the Offensive Player of the Year award.
I like to mess around, and sometimes you can go too far. I even hit him up and I
okay.
Yeah,
I don't think most people.
I reached out.
But he tells CBS he hasn't heard back. On Wall Street at this hour, the Dow is up 34 points. The Nasdaq's up 148, and the S&P is up 29. KIRO News Radio traffic northbound 5, just west of the Seattle Bridge. We've been working with a crash in the HOV lane. And southbound 5, the off-ramp to North Lake Sammamish, we've got a disabled vehicle there blocking that ramp, so watch for delays in those areas. This traffic report brought to you by the Emerald Queen Casino. Get ready for a night of hard-hitting MMA excitement with WFC 190. April 25th at Emerald Queen Casino. Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest. Your weather forecast calling for clouds and a high of 44 this afternoon. Scattered showers for your Saturday, 49 degrees, and then more showers throughout the day on Sunday, too. We warm up to around 53, rainy, and 50 on Monday. Right now, we have a chilly 37 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Thank you for the assist.
It is
the innuendo song of the 80s.
Thank you so much for joining us here on the Gee and Ursula Show. Gee is out today. Greg Tomlin is in. Assist by Nick. We got a musical bunch in here.
I mean, you guys start dancing in here at like 9 a.m. right when the show starts, and I'm thinking, woo, I better get another cup of Joe in me.
Exactly. Hey, coming up at 10:47, we will do scenarios, but right now we need to talk about performance in schools and why it seems to be that kids are struggling more and more these days. And you actually brought this to our attention.
Yeah, Ursula, this is a very alarming story that's gotten some coverage nationally and even internationally. But I think it deserves a follow-up and a actual continual conversation. And that is the fact that Gen Z, this current young generation, is the first generation that is less cognitively capable than their parents. So they've been studying this now for almost 150 years or more. And basically, historically, it looks like this. Each generation has gotten a little smarter than their parents until Gen Z. And I think this is a 5-alarm fire for society.
Now, who has come up with this research? Sorry, I do this to G all the time.
Yeah.
So, like, who's saying that they're not as...
It's Fact Check Friday.
Okay.
So I've been following a lot of testimony on Capitol Hill from experts who study this and research this in particular. And this testimony happened just a few weeks ago.
Okay.
I think Gene Twangy was a person who took part in it. And this gentleman here who conveyed some of these alarming statistics.
His name is Dr. Horvath.
There you go.
My name is Dr. Jared Cooney Horvath. I'm a former teacher turned cognitive neuroscientist who focuses on human learning. And I do not receive funding, nor have I ever, from big tech. So a sad fact our generation has to face is this. Our kids are less cognitively capable than we were at their age. Since we've been standardizing and measuring cognitive development since the late 1800s, every generation has outperformed their parents. And that's exactly what we want. We want sharper kids. And the reason for this largely has been school. Each generation spends more time in school. We use school to develop our cognition. Congratulations, you see your correlation. Until Gen Z. Gen Z is the first generation in modern history to underperform us on basically every cognitive measure we have, from basic attention to memory to literacy to numeracy to executive functioning to even general IQ, even though they go to more school than we did. So why? What happened? What happened around 2010 that decoupled schooling from cognitive development? It can't be school. Schools basically look the same. It can't be biology. This hasn't had enough time to change. The answer appears to be the tools we are using within schools to drive that learning. Across 80 countries, as Gene was just saying, if you look at the data, once countries adopt digital technology widely in schools, performance goes down significantly.
Whoa. And it's causation, correlation here, but they go further in depth in their testimony as to why this is a warranted takeaway from the facts that are available to them. And Ursula, I know there are school systems out there that have invested thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars in digital technology integration in the classroom. But I think this is a defining moment for a generation of administrators and school principals and superintendents and head of schools everywhere. The evidence seems abundantly clear. Get the digital technology out of the classroom. Go back to pencil and paper. Go back to textbooks. I can attest to this firsthand anecdotally. I have a 9th grader, 6th grader, and 3rd grader at home, and 2 of them have computers that they bring home from school, and homework is just an absolute nightmare. One, there's the temptation of constantly resorting to playing games on the screen, which are available on these school computers. And secondly, I was doing math homework with my 6th grade son the other night, and we were working on one of those like XY axes, and okay, you have to draw a dot here and draw a dot here, and then where would you leave a third dot to make a right triangle? And I realized that we couldn't draw anything on the actual screen. He had to imagine it in his head. So he's not using his fine motor skills with his hand to draw the graph. He's pointing and then having to imagine where the lines are on this graph, which was hard enough for me to do as a 43-year-old, let alone a 12-year-old. And I just see this over and over. I have a son who's a third grader who is a little bit ADD. His frustration with computers, I mean, the second like a button doesn't work, he's over it and he doesn't want to do it anymore. But you put a pencil in his hand and have him actually write stuff, then we begin to get things done in terms of homework. And the computers are just ever so frustrating. And I see how this notion of progress has actually led to a regressive state in our kids' learning.
Okay, first of all, I want to go back, and I'm so glad you brought this up. And I will want Sophia and Nick to weigh in too, because first of all, the statement of, cognitively they're not doing as well as the previous generation. I mean, that is alarming in and of itself. I think that there are other factors besides the technology. Mm-hmm. And you mentioned that you think it's time to get the computers out and bring back the pencils and papers
and textbooks.
That's never going to happen.
Well, if we collectively work together and don't ignore the data that is glaring and staring at us right in the face and shouting at us, I think, yes, although we've invested millions of dollars in this technology, we need to pull back. We have a duty to the next generation to do this and say we need to hold off computers for a while. Yes, they're going to use them maybe later in high school and into their jobs, but we don't need them at the elementary school level.
Yeah.
It's wreaked havoc on Gen Z, and I just don't think there's any way to ignore this fact that this is the first generation to have gotten dumber. What do you think some of the other factors are?
I know when you say gotten dumber, first of all, I reject that notion.
Okay.
I truly just reject it. And you can tell me all the statistics, this, that, and the other thing. I think it's just learning differently or the idea of, like, for example, people have forgotten how to write. As in,
well, to your point,
even physically write.
My son was writing an essay on his computer the other day. He told me, this from the mouth of babes, right? He said, Dad, I don't really need to learn how to spell. The computer is correcting every word I put into it.
That's true. And this is one of Sophia's pet peeves, too, because with ChatGPT or AI, I mean, you don't even have to worry about.
We're outsourcing our cognitive abilities.
Yes.
We're outsourcing our cognitive abilities. And that is detrimental to the future of this country.
So Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line 888-973-5476 888-973 KIRO. I mean, this is a big, heavy topic that just deserves more time than we could give it right now. But what do you see as the solution?
And do you have your own stories in the listening audience of how it's either been a benefit or a detriment to your own kids?
Well, and David Snohomish County had texted this for something else, but I think it fits. There's a whole generation that just needs a break. And he says, I feel for the youngsters. They had 9/11, endless conflict and political fighting, existential and environmental problems, lying leaders, a digital drug put in their hand at such a vulnerable age, and growing up in stressful households where they see their parents struggling. We've done a lot of damage. Okay, text us, 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. Scenarios coming up.
This is what it's all about, right?
The Seahawks win Super Bowl 60.
The pure joy.
To beat the Patriots, especially in the 49ers stadium, it means everything.
It's a great time to be alive for Seattle fans.
It's why we're 12s.
Just like Mike McDonald said, we did not care.
We got a parade to get to.
Seattle will hold a victory parade Wednesday.
We are the home of your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
They are bringing the Lombardi back to the Northwest.
KIRO Newsradio.
With the new IHOP value menu, $6 is all it takes to go to your happy place, where stacks of pancakes with bacon and eggs are just $6 every day. French toast, sausage, and eggs are, you guessed it, $6. And fluffy omelets come with a side of pancakes and only cost $6.
Go to your happy plates every day at IHOP. $7 in some locations. Available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
Pizza's here. Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
You know the one question that guys hate to have asked of them by their wives, Nick?
I can take a good guess.
I know you know 100 of them. This is the worst one. Do these jeans make my butt look big?
Whoa.
Can't answer that one, right? What I've noticed is whenever you ask me questions like that, I just simply say, oh, I don't know. What did the doctors at Longevity Medical Clinic say?
Well, the doctors at Longevity Medical Clinic would tell me that my butt looks great in those jeans now that my hormones are balanced.
What'd they do? Did they give you something to bring your weight down?
No, just a result of having my hormones balanced caused me to lose weight. Who would have known? I had no idea that would be a result of it.
So that's good. So the answer is you look great. You're beautiful.
I feel great. I look great.
Yeah.
And I know it.
I've also noticed that your testosterone makes you a little feistier than you normally are as my beautiful Greek wife.
I might be small, but I have a loud bark.
Yes, you do. Do what Nick and I have done. Take a free health analysis at longevitymedicalclinic.com.
With the new IHOP value menu, $6 is all it takes to go to your happy plates, where stacks of pancakes with bacon and eggs are just $6 every day. French toast, sausage, and eggs are, you guessed it, $6. And fluffy omelets come with a side of pancakes and only cost $6. Go to your happy plates every day at IHOP. $7 in some locations. Available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
Pizza's here. Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
This is Chris Davis with the Davis Law Group. Did you know that a pedestrian does not have to be crossing the street on a marked crosswalk to have a successful legal claim against the driver? Pedestrians can even be partially at fault for a collision and still have a valuable claim. Call us today for a free consultation or get my free book on pedestrian accident law at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com. That's Davis Law Group, better service and even better results.
When you walked through your kitchen this morning, what'd you see? Did it make you happy? Hi, I'm Chad Cicchini, owner of Heritage Homecraft. Well, I want to make you happy. We'll custom build you all new cabinet doors and drawer fronts, and using our exclusive 1/4-inch solid wood refacing process, transform your existing cabinets into a beautiful new kitchen. Add a custom quartz countertop, change things up a bit, add some more cabinets, install some cool new features like soft close drawers and sliding shelves, whatever you like. We'll help you to create the new kitchen you'll be proud of. All in about a week, and all with way less mess, hassle, time, and expense than to tear out. Stop waiting. For 18 years, we've been honored to serve thousands of happy customers, and we'd love to serve you. Call today and I'll get one of our pros to come out and show you how easy and comfortable it'll be to get going on your new kitchen. Heritage Homecraft, 425-485-1600, 425-485-1600, or heritagehomecraft.com.
Guys, your testosterone level impacts your energy, drive, weight, hair loss, and even ED. Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your T level for free. For your free T level check, exam, and consultation, call 206-529-1111 or visit revivemenshealth.com.
Where you buy your vehicle matters. At Subaru Puyallup, it's about safety for every drive, confidence in every season, and a buying experience that is stress-free. It starts with friendly experts who listen and continues with stress-free pricing, an easy process, and a genuine care that lasts the life of your Subaru. During the Subaru A Lot to Love event through March 31st, enjoy extra savings. Subaru of Puyallup, part of the Harnish Auto family. Visit SubaruofPuyallup.com, your stress-free dealership.
It is 10:48. This is the Gee and Ursula Show. Gee is out. Greg Tomlin is in, and it is time for scenarios.
Here we go, yo. Here we go, yo. So what's the scenario?
My fiance and I are getting married soon, and we started talking more seriously about finances. That's when I found out he still gives a portion of his paycheck to his family every month. In his family, they have what they call a money pool. Everyone contributes, and anyone can pull from it if they need help with bills, emergencies, or expenses. It's something they've always done, and he sees it as normal and supportive. The problem is, we're trying to build our own life together. We have wedding expenses, rent, saving goals, future plans. I've told him that once we're married, I want our financial focus to be on us. I'm not comfortable with a chunk of his income automatically going into a shared family fund that I have no say in. He says I'm asking him to turn his back on his family and that helping them is part of who he is. I'm not saying he can never help them, I just don't think it should be an open-ended obligation. Now I'm wondering, am I being selfish? Or is it reasonable to expect that when you get married, your primary financial responsibility shifts to your spouse?
Ooh. Greg, as the guest today, I'm going to let you start. I had an immediate reaction on that one.
And look, scenarios is a segment we don't prep for, so I'm just acting on impulse here. But
welcome to my world.
I'm going to go, as sometimes I often do, to some good old-fashioned biblical wisdom. So Genesis 2, leave and cleave, Ursula. And that's the notion that you actually do leave your family and create a new union with the person you are with and start something afresh and different, and the old ways are sort of left behind in a number of ways. So, yeah, I don't know about still continuing to put money in a pool, and then it relies major on the honor system, on, if you need it, you can pull from it. I mean, that seems like it's just fraught with potential disaster.
Man, I had a completely different reaction.
Perfect. I love it. That's what makes this interesting.
Yes. So my reaction was, this is something that she knew going into this relationship. He's been doing it.
But I don't think she knew to the level of, like, she just kind of learned that it's like every paycheck he pulls something out.
Yes.
Gives it to them.
But and the question I have is, are you talking about a large amount, or is it an amount that they have done well in their relationship? Now they're engaged. They've done well in their relationship. I would express my concerns and just say, I really want to be focused on our situation. But to cut him off from something that he's been doing, and that is something that has been part of the family, I would not go into a relationship and expect someone to give up something that is really important to them, especially when you're talking about family. And who knows, you guys could be the beneficiaries of something in that family pool that other people have donated to.
I just feel like it should be more done on a case-by-case basis rather than just the assumption that from now until forever, whoever taps into this fund will be for the most noble reasons and purposes.
That hasn't been the spirit of that fund, nor has it been an issue for that family.
Yet.
I mean, Julie B says, if it isn't a huge amount of money, why is it a big deal? And then someone else just texted in, B in Puyallup, he's going to need that money when they get divorced in 18 months.
What if you want a family vacation to Disneyland, as Todd points out on the text line?
Tyson from 808 says the fiance should consider that the money pool may come in handy for her and her future husband. That's exactly right. I mean, I understand and I love that you went biblical with it. And there are many things that you can start anew with your relationship, including carving out that money for and figuring out the money aside from that little bit that he's giving to his family, which just, I know that I have a big family, and there were times when, we had to contribute. My brother had cancer and couldn't work anymore, and we as a family would contribute to that. I would have hated it if my husband said, well, that's money that's not going to our marriage.
So I guess another way to look at this is just sort of its own family insurance fund.
Exactly. I mean, you may need it in the future, but what a beautiful thing that they're doing to help each other as a family. What do you think, Sophia?
Yeah, I mean, I was also going to add that this is something that could feel a bit like a culture shock, because I do think that families outside of the U.S. are much more involved with one another financially. And in America, it seems traditional American families are a little bit disconnected when it comes to funding, right? You turn 18, you're on your own, you have your own bank account. But if for a lot of families, you're intertwined for life.
Yes.
And so if this is like a cultural barrier, if one of them has American family, one of them isn't, I can see from her perspective how this could feel like a red flag. And in a lot of ways, it could be a red flag, because what starts as a small amount into the family fund could soon be, well, I'm saving that money for my sibling that's in trouble, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, and they're not paying for things for their marriage.
Well, and you could put maybe that kind of guidance on it, but again, I think it's a red flag, but for him, not for her.
At least one side it's a red flag. But I mean, listen, it's the 21st century in 2026 where everyone is more capable of earning their keep and managing their own pocketbook. So the whole idea of pooling in a community fund seems a little dated and unnecessary to me, and I definitely not making an expectation to put total trust in this honor system where everyone you assume is fiscally responsible, because in most cases you sometimes get a bad egg in the family or between the couple that won't be putting in their fair share, and more often than not, that handout is being asked for with a free payday without any repercussions. Buyer beware in this case, but don't bank on any sort of concrete consistency with the group. It could come back to bite you, but I hope all the best if you do follow through with this idea.
Oh, they've been doing it. I mean, it's been working.
Well, more
for the
power
family.
to them then.
Yeah, exactly. It sounds like it has been working.
Been working for somebody.
Yeah.
Who's been withdrawing funds.
Sophia, what you said about culturally speaking too, because culturally, yes, family is, the level of family involvement is different with different cultures for sure. Okay, we got a lot more of the Gee and Ursula Show, including, y'all blew up our text line with Greg's discussion at 10:30 about the cognitive differences with this latest generation and what all this technology is doing. So we're going to bring some of your feedback coming up next at 11 o'clock, because we need to talk solutions. If we're going to bring up the problem, we need to talk about solutions. So that's next.
What do we do about the screen that ate your children's education?
Yikes. Stay with us.
KIRO News Radio is right there with you.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us.
On your smart speaker before you head out the door.
We continue to be in recovery mode on northbound I-5.
Watch live on YouTube or the KIRO News Radio app.
Newfangled idea of having to see the people while they're talking.
The office, the gym, wherever you are.
Get on the YouTube channel. The whole gang's there.
KIRO News Radio. 97.3 FM, powered by MyNorthwest.com.
File with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. TurboTax helps you get your biggest refund, and then Credit Karma helps you do more with it. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
The Gee and Ursula Show.
There's two types of people. One's that use a washcloth. The other are bare hand bandits.
Hate to break it to you, but...
Ursula, you a bare hand bandit?
Weekdays 9 to noon. Watch live on YouTube.
Comcast Business helps turn today's small businesses into engines of modern business. It's how restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. How retailers become seamlessly restocking, cybersecurity must-visit shops. And how healthcare offices become the data managing caregivers that we all depend on. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, advanced fiber solutions, and Wi-Fi backup, Comcast Business is powering the engine of modern business. Powering possibilities.
Now through March 22nd, switch to Comcast Business and get started with 150 megabit internet plus Security Edge for $59.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Or ask how to lock in your rate for 5 years on a qualifying internet bundle and get a $500 prepaid card when you add 2 lines of mobile for a limited time only. Call today. Restrictions apply. New customers only. Requires paperless billing and automatic payments with bank account. Equipment, taxes, and other fees extra. After promo, regular rates apply.
your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Your tax return is one of the most important financial documents you produce each year. Have you ever looked at it and wondered what else can you do to minimize your taxes? John Curley here to tell you about Madrona Financial's 1040 Treasure Hunt Workshop, a hands-on tax planning workshop that helps you use your 1040 tax return to uncover tax reduction strategies, avoid future tax surprises, and plan ahead with confidence. The 1040 Treasure Hunt Workshop is at 6 p.m. on March 3rd at Madrona Financial's Kirkland office. This free hands-on event will expose ways to pay less in taxes and plan for the future. If you want fewer surprises and more control, this workshop is the place to start. Tuesday, March 3rd at 6 p.m. RSVP by calling 833-673-7373. That's 833-673-7373. Or visit madronafinancial.com/events to grab your seat today.
This is a paid advertisement. Investments involve risk. See full disclosures at madronafinancial.com.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 877 Cars for Kids to speak to a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Go to carsforkids.org now or call 877 Cars for Kids to donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
We're the home of your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
They are bringing the Lombardi back to the Northwest.
KIRO FM and HD1 Tacoma, Seattle. This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
Christopher Cruz in Washington, a deeply disappointed President Trump, says he's ashamed of certain members of the Supreme Court. He's speaking at the White House. He spoke at the White House and is still speaking now after the court struck down his tariffs as unconstitutional.
It's my opinion that the court has been swayed by foreign interests and a political movement that is far smaller than people would ever think.
Trump said there are other methods and practices he can use that are even stronger than tariffs. He claims the ruling leaves him more powerful.
Effective immediately, all national security tariffs under Section 232 and existing Section 301 tariffs, they're existing, they're there, remain in place, fully in place, and in full force and effect.
Trump said he'll sign an executive order imposing a 10% global tariff. CBS's Ed O'Keefe says the ruling takes away leverage the president was using to force other countries to do his bidding.
The hope here at the White House at times was to be able to use the threat of tariffs as sort of a coercive tool to get their way with certain countries or certain parts of the world, most especially Europe.
The 6-3 decision was written by Chief Justice John Roberts, who was joined by Justices Neil Gorsuch and Amy Coney Barrett, both appointed by Trump to the High Court. CBS's Jan Crawford.
I think what's really interesting is 6 of the justices, 3 conservatives and 3 liberals, came together. They didn't agree on the reasons, but they agreed on the bottom line.
NASA is looking at a possible March 6th launch attempt for Artemis 2, the first crewed flyby mission to the moon in more than 50 years. Artemis launch director Charlie Blackwell Thompson says launch teams pumped more than 700,000 gallons of fuel into the rocket and found minimal hydrogen leakage.
It was really quiet and went well. We did experience an issue with our comm system. That was probably the most exciting thing that happened during the tanking scenario, but it wasn't related to the loading of cryogenic commodities.
There's new research that finds that women really do experience pain differently than men.
Geoffroy Lumet at Michigan State University says there's a lot of data
showing that women are more likely to develop chronic pain than men.
He explains that there's a
difference in the immune system that can lead to that difference in the duration of pain.
Lumet says certain cells that switch off pain are more active in men, but decades from now, there may be a way to manipulate those cells so that they can produce more signals to calm pain for women. Allison Keyes, CBS News.
As the president's been speaking, stocks have been moving up. The Dow is up about 1/3%, S&P 500 up almost 0.75%, NASDAQ up more than 1%. This is CBS News.
The stars shine brighter on CBS Mornings.
This is a slam dunk.
So cute. Gail came in singing for me today.
On CBS Mornings.
Washington's former state attorney general weighs in on the tariffs decision by the U.S. Supreme Court. More on that in just a moment. But first, KIRO News Radio traffic in Everett, northbound 5, just north of SR 526. We've got a blocking collision in the right lane. We've cleared a disabled vehicle southbound 5 on the off-ramp to North Lake Sammamish. And we've been talking about this wire theft that's been causing disruptions on the light rail line. Wires were ripped along Sound Transit's One Line and Federal Way. That, for a while, had service suspended between Angle Lake and Federal Way downtown. Service on the One Line is restored. Separate problem, though, not related to wire theft, we've confirmed with Sound Transit. On the 2 line, there is another problem on that line, which has service suspended right now between the Bel-Red and downtown Redmond stations. Traffic brought to you by the KIRO News Radio app. Text app to 888-973-5476 to download the KIRO News Radio app. Listen to your favorite shows and get the latest news and updates sent straight to your phone.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Frank Lindsay. Former Washington State Attorney General Rob McKenna weighing in on the Supreme Court's decision to end President Trump's tariffs. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey asked McKenna whether companies affected will now lower prices.
The court's opinion means thousands of companies across Washington will soon be reimbursed billions of dollars in tariffs already paid. McKenna says what they will do with that money is another question.
Will they use that money to, reduce the price of goods and make goods cheaper, or will they just keep it? It's not clear.
In response to the court's opinion, Trump said he might seek tariffs through other statutes or completely cut off trade with other countries. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
We're also hearing from Washington Republican Congressman Dan Newhouse. He says, quote, today's decision by the Supreme Court reaffirms Congress's authority under Article 1 of the Constitution to levy tariffs and restores balance between the legislative and executive branches. He goes on to say that tariffs can be effective when used in a targeted manner. Washington has the second highest gas prices in the country today. $4.23 a gallon is our average. That's second only to California. Our state has seen prices go up 40 cents in the last month. The national average, though, has only gone up by a dime. Mukilteo police investigating after a man was hit by a train yesterday. This was around 5 p.m. on Nikita Beach Road. The man died at the scene. They have not released his identity. KIRO News Radio weather is calling for gray skies and kind of chilly. 44 degrees this afternoon, scattered showers tomorrow, and about 49 or so, and more rain on Sunday, too. A little bit warmer, 53 degrees, and then cloudy on Monday with a high right around 50. It is 37 degrees right now in downtown Seattle. I'm Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
It is a fresh Friday, and we are so thankful that you are here with us on the Gee and Ursula Show. Gee is out today. He is doing his side hustle, I like to say. Greg Tomlin is in. How you doing?
Let's do this.
Yeah, we're in our third hour. All going well. We need you on our Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line, 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. Greg, you were commenting that you couldn't believe how often we actually respond to people on our text line.
Oh, it's a glorious thing. Yeah, I see you interacting every break with countless listeners on the text line.
I know. And then I was so frustrated because for about 30 minutes, I wasn't able to do it. Something was wrong with our text messaging system.
You flew into a rage.
No, I didn't. But I think we got it fixed. Anyway, it's so important that you are a part of our show. At 11:30, we are going to ask, is your side hustle burning you out right now? That's going to be coming up in Agree to Disagree. But right now,
top stories at 11
on the Gee and Ursula Show.
And we need to bring back something that we talked about in the 10:30 segment because Brian from Arlington texted in and said, that segment has me a little shook. My kids are just getting into school. So if you could give a synopsis, you basically had aired a segment that you heard as part of testimony, and it comes to kids' cognitive abilities today.
Yeah, and in layman's terms, Gen Z is the first generation in over 100 years to have gotten dumber. And the answers as to why that might be are multifaceted, but one of the main culprits seems to be the mass integration of tech in your kids' learning, whether at school with a computer or at home with their computers, just digital technology, and getting our kids to increase their cognitive abilities seems to be a negative correlation.
I don't know why I just flinch every time you say our kids are getting dumber or this generation is dumber. It's just their cognitive abilities have declined.
Let's speak truth for what it is, and it's a little harsh.
So they're not doing as well
it gets people's
educationally. Attention. Yeah, it sure does. So our text line blew up.
Exploded. We touched a nerve.
Yes, we did. And as we like to do on our show, we not only like to pose a problem, but hey, can we workshop some kind of solutions? Like what would be the answer to this? And so some of our folks texted in and said, for example, 360, as an employer of dozens of people over the past 39 years in boat yacht repair, I can tell you younger people are dumber because of the way they're learning or the lack thereof. My best technicians and shipwrights are those who've learned what some people would call the old-fashioned way. Books, pens, pencils, paper. Yes, of course there are places for computers, and they are very valuable in this modern age, and they're valuable to all. But to set aside our collective talents that are gifts of the human body is turning out to be very dangerous and detrimental. And I think 360 just nailed it, which is, yes, computers and technology, we're not going to go backwards and say we're going back only strictly pencil and paper and typewriters. And
Well, what was the point of integrating tech into our children's education? I assume it was this will make things easier and our kids will actually get smarter, right? We want each generation of kids to get smarter. I'm reminded of this quote from C.S. Lewis. We all want progress, but progress means getting nearer to the place where you want to be. And if you've taken a wrong turning, then to go forward does not get you any nearer. If you're on the wrong road, progress means doing an about turn and walking back to the right road. And in that case, the man who turns back soonest is the most progressive man. So I'm saying we turn back the clock a little bit. That's the solution here, is we have to go, yeah, we spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on this. Now the evidence is in that it's actually had adverse effects on our kids' learning. And so we need to bite the bullet and say, yeah, but it's more important that we get back on the right path of our kids getting smarter from generation to generation.
I want to have Sophia weigh in because, I mean, we're talking about your generation.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Are you Gen Z, technically?
I'm considered on the, I guess, the elder side of Gen Z, or right in the thick of it.
Well, you've bucked the trend. You're a brilliant mind, but yes, go ahead.
No, I appreciate that. And I mean, and I do think I had that balance of when I was in elementary school, there was not computers integrated in education. But I do think there is also something to be a testament of the way that we're testing this level of cognitive abilities, because I do think our brains are changing, and what you're learning and what you need to use it for is also adapting. Destiny in Seattle pointed out something great, which is that she said, don't you also think it could be freeing not to have to worry about spelling, math, and writing? I think if we are free of those cognitive blocks, it could open up new paths on our brains for art expression and relating to others. I do think there's still value in our traditional forms of education. I mean, Denmark, which consistently ranks third globally for education, they have already started resisting this trend and taking screens out of the classroom.
Yes. Needs to be a balance.
Absolutely, there needs to be a balance. I don't think we can obviously go back old school, because I think actually in a weird way, my education was the perfect right in the middle. I had access to a computer in high school, but I also wasn't using ChatGPT to write every one of my essays. It's a combination of critical thinking and also using your tools.
And I'll date myself. I was a 90s kid, so my first ever computer-related class was in 7th grade. And I could just remember hitting the buttons on the keyboard, J, 3 times space, J, 3 times, and then doing that for like 10 minutes. And then really the internet, in the advent of the internet, was really towards later in high school. And really, I don't feel like I'm behind in this technology in any way or shape or form. So I don't see that it's a necessity to integrate this at the earliest, most tender ages of our children. They can wait and they'll be just fine.
Okay. I agree with it can wait. And I think that would be the easiest way to address this. Why does it have to start at first grade, second grade? Why not wait? Because I know one of the arguments in favor of it was digital divide. We don't want, and Microsofts of the world and all that, really push to get all the computers in the classrooms.
As if they had no incentive monetarily
exactly.
to do that.
They're doing real well.
It's just the goodwill and brotherhood and helping our fellow man.
We should, and I have said, I am all in for putting an emphasis back on spelling and writing well and doing math the old-fashioned way. And we were talking about needing financial literacy, things that people actually need and use. But I think that there is a time and a place and a use for also making sure that people are computer savvy, because that is where Gen Z, the younger generation, does do so much better than we do. Okay, I'm going to put myself. I'm going to do myself.
Yeah.
How many times do I have to rent I always joke around, rent Gen Z, rent millennial to help me out with something.
Sure.
So, they have strengths in other areas. I'm not trying to soften the blow when you said it's a generation that is dumber.
Well, I will also add that if you think about the education curriculum hasn't changed that much, but they're changing the format in which they're teaching it.
That's
so I think there
exactly
needs to be, if you're going to change the format, you also need to change the curriculum. It's not working.
I would just advocate for a philosophy of delay is the way. And we see this with country after country now beginning to pass laws saying you have to be at least 16 years old to be on social media. I think a similar rule should apply for kids' education, and that is we start integrating technology much later, maybe even sophomore, junior year of high school is when we really start to have computers, and even then do it in a very limited, small scale.
What do you think the reception is going to be to that? Oh, well, you said you were just recently talking last night. You're on a school board.
Yeah.
What was the reception?
I was talking to some educators and families, and I brought up some of this testimony that I had seen at this congressional hearing from experts on this topic. And the room lit up like the 4th of July. And it was like everybody at the table had their own stories that they were relaying. And I was saying, okay, something is happening here under the surface that we haven't fully fleshed out or talked about to the extent to which we need to.
Yes.
And I think that's one of the reasons the text line is lit up.
Yes.
Because we're all dealing this and we see it with our own eyes and we're going, something's off here. Something has changed dramatically. And we need to pump the brakes because the results could be catastrophic. And the data is starting to come in. And we're seeing Gen Z is a hurting generation. Yes, in some ways they might be more empathetic and they might be more in tune with their emotions and so on and so forth. They might be more forthcoming, maybe too forthcoming in how they feel. But they're hurting when it comes to basic things like IQ, critical thinking, cognitive abilities. And folks, it's the tools that they're using that is hurting them. And let's acknowledge it and speak plainly and speak truthfully.
Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line giving you a lot to chew on there. 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. I just want to share a couple of things. 253 texted in and said, the problem is parents, not technology. Both my boys get a lot of screen time and both get straight A's. My youngest son self-taught himself to read at 3 to 4 years old through video games, and he's currently in 5th grade with an 8th grade vocabulary. So, there are some who are doing
There's
okay with it.
exceptions to the rule.
There are exceptions to the rule. There's also 360 who says it really feels like parents aren't as involved in their kids' education anymore. And I think that's true.
And this reminds me of the discussion we had yesterday when it comes to parents being in more control of the children's social media. And I think this can extend further to the technology that they're using in education, where they need to limit what they have access to until the parents and teachers have a better understanding of what they're using and how they're getting more convenience than maybe previous generations had. And then they can introduce, when they know how to educate, this kind of technology. It's like when I was a kid, I had to, learn how to use an analog clock before my dad let me watch or see like digital clocks. So,
yeah,
it was
I
kind
had
of
to learn on a stick shift to drive my car.
Me too. I learned on a manual, and I think that's a good way of having kids learn the basics before they get extended into these more convenient kind of technologies.
Without question. And furthermore, to add to this conversation, it's been the gamification of education that has created a lot of adverse effects. The notion that, well, education should be fun and you shouldn't have to feel any of that pain or that struggle or that adversity. You should be having a good time. And if you're not having a good time, oh, I'm going to throw a fit now because everything has been tailored to make things more comfortable, more easy, and more entertaining as I learn my vocab. Not necessarily. I'm sorry. Boredom, difficulty, hardship, creating some scar tissue, that creates resilient and smart kids for the next generation. Stop thinking that because we made it easier, it's to their benefit. So, for example, if you never teach your kids how to do the dishes and you say, well, I made life easy for them as kids, the second they get into a dorm room situation or get out in the real world, they will have no clue. They will live in a pit, and everybody will say, did no one teach you to put your dirty dishes away? And that's uncomfortable as a parent to force that 12-year-old who's kicking and screaming that doesn't want to load their dirty dishes. But you do it because it's tough, not in spite of being tough.
Absolutely. You're totally correct.
Sorry, I'm a little fired up.
No, I know. And our text messages are coming in hot. Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line 888-973-5476. Hey, let's squeeze in a fun story because Luke Ducey is back in here.
The Deuce.
Yes. Well, after you had Super Bowl coverage, you got to ride the wave with the Seahawks.
Yeah.
And suddenly, we don't even get a break. Now we're talking about the Mariners.
We're back. We're back with the Mariners. I was going to suggest, Greg, by the way, first, if only we could get a robot to load the dishwasher. Maybe that would.
There you go.
You're making it too easy.
I'm kidding.
Luke.
I'm kidding. Hey, let's set the mood, shall we? Let's set the mood.
Any extras, tickets, anyone selling? Ice cold beer, ice cold beer. Let's go beer here.
Can you just smell the yellow mustard on the Mariner dog? How about the ice cold beer?
I can.
The cotton candy.
The garlic fries?
The garlic fries.
That's
Yes, the
number
garlic
one.
fries. The cotton candy on everything because it's all over your kids' hands and you don't have any wet wipes. You ran out.
I still miss Rick Kaminsky, the peanut man from the Kingdom. You remember him? Oh, the peanut guy was the best.
Man, that guy could get all over the stadium.
He'd be three sections away, and he'd throw you the peanuts behind his back, and I would just shout, give this guy a raise.
Yes.
A little more than an hour from now, we've got the first spring training game in the Cactus League. Yeah, we're taking on the San Diego Padres at 12:10 down in Arizona. Manager Dan Wilson says, there's still some lingering sting, however, from last season, but there's a lot of motivation in that sting.
Our first step in getting to where we want to go is spring training and using this time as a time of preparation, and that's where we're headed. And it kind of starts tomorrow as we start the game.
God, what a postseason last year! Are you all excited about here we go again?
Well, I haven't even had a chance to fully enjoy the Olympics because we just got off the whole Super Bowl thing. So I'm trying to catch up with that and the idea of, oh my gosh, I love that we don't have too much downtime because we can go right into the Mariners. But I want to know from all you guys, did we make any moves during the offseason that are going to help our chances to get to the World Series?
Oh, yeah. So we'd made some off-season decisions in the other way. So Gino Suarez and Jorge Polanco. Jorge Polanco is a Met now. I can't remember where Suarez went, but he is no longer with the team. He was on a one-year contract, and he hit that grand slam home run in Game 5 of the ALCS that we all remember very, very well. So they're gone. However, I want you to remember these names. We got some young players coming in that are going to be superstars. Everyone thinks it. Cole Young, Ryan Bliss, Brendan Donovan.
From the Cardinals.
Yeah, these guys are lights out good. You know who else is lights out good?
Who?
And we re-signed him. First baseman Josh Naylor. This guy he's so cool.
He's a crowd favorite.
He's so good, crowd favorite. You know what else? It's so endearing. I don't know if you've seen these videos online. If you haven't, you've got to go seek these out. He has bonded with the clubhouse dog down there at spring training. So for practices every day, he's been coming out on the porch, this porch area, kind of the camera's turned to him, and he's out there stretching, and he's holding plates of food with Tucker, and he's feeding Tucker these little treats. And he was asked about that the other day.
I don't give him bad treats. I give him good treats. I give him like apples, bananas, A good little small plate. I'm not going to overdo it. He's not having a 5-course meal with me.
Which is also perfect because we are a dog city. He loves dogs. He went on to say that he believes that dogs are more important than people almost every time. They're just fantastic animals and good companions. So I think he's going to fit in here with the Mariners for quite a long time, and he's a fantastic player.
Are you ready for unpopular opinion?
Of course.
Always. That's been the whole show, Greg.
Anti-dog or anti-Mariner?
No, professional sports. So I remember when the Seahawks won their first Super Bowl, 2014, right? The whole city was just absolute nuts. I remember just seeing Seahawks logos everywhere. And I think this time around, I was excited for the Super Bowl run, but I wasn't quite at the level of elation I was in 2014. Call that age, call that perspective. I think part of the dynamic is the Seahawks got the Super Bowl under their belt, and we all got a chance to have that feeling of what it was like, and then we all got to come down from that high. And so we went through that cycle. Coming around at the second time was not quite as like monumentous as the first time in a 40-year history or whatever. The Mariners in the World Series, it's still been elusive for them. They haven't even played in the biggest series yet of the season. So
they got close.
They got close. But here's the thing in the back of my mind that I can't shake. In some weird way, I feel like it's, I don't know, almost better for a franchise to get so close to it but never taste that mountaintop. And it creates that notion of
tension?
like hope springs eternal,
yes.
or like we're just all so close on the precipice. And so last season with the Mariners coming within like, I don't know, 1 out or something of the World Series, the thought that's on my mind, Luke, is did the team peak last year? Was that the pinnacle, or are we just getting started? Are we still on that upswing, that curve that goes up and up and up until we finally make the World Series and win the whole thing?
Well, players get better. So those players who were and we're a youngish team.
Okay.
So yeah, they should get better.
You can say it more definitively than that.
We're
They're
gonna
get better.
Be really good. I think we've got a really legit shot here at going all the way.
Yeah, this guy's got to stay healthy.
Nick.
As excited as I am about the hype that's going into this season, baseball is such a fickle sport, and I'm hoping for the best with the Mariners, but you never know with 162 games in a season. The best thing about the Mariners is they retained a lot of the players that they had last year. Sure, they lost Jorge Polanco, Geno Suarez, but we got Brendan Donovan at third, and then we got this guy in the outfield, Rob Refsnyder, that I think is going to turn out pretty well, but you never know with injuries, knock on wood, and what's going to happen with pitchers. And, if Cal Raleighy's going to hit another 60 home runs this year, that shouldn't be expected. But, the same kind of threshold. And I just hope I'm not hoping they meet that same level they did last year because it's such a high expectation. I just still hope the Mariners can make the playoffs at this point. Maybe it might not be a World Series, but it's really hard in baseball to expect the same thing as last year.
Okay,
but I still think they're a good team.
We're managing expectations, Luke.
We're Mariners fans.
I know, but let's
World
anti
Series
that.
all the way.
Set the
I'm
bar.
going with it.
Expectations up here.
Yes, World Series.
We're going to keep going into uncharted territories. We're going to go all the way.
Agree to disagrees next.
You never know what's in store each morning once you hit the road.
We've got a major traffic alert in effect right now.
While you're getting ready every morning, make us part of your routine.
What morning, huh?
Yeah. Got off to an early start.
Just tell your smart speaker to play KIRO News Radio or stream us on the app.
Both directions of I-5 are closed.
We'll help you get where you're going faster.
Maybe bail at 512.
KIRO News Radio. We're on your smart speaker, the app, and 97.3 FM.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
Are you 50 or older? This news is for you. The CDC recommends you get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at risk. People 50 or older are over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia compared to adults 18 to 49. Just one shot can help protect you. Learn more and schedule at vaxassist.com. That's VAXassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here with my buddy, Dr. Daniel Nelson from Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine. The stem cell therapy you did on my knee was a game changer. But Dr. Dan, people ask me all the time if you're seeing the same kind of success treating neck and back pain with stem cell therapy.
Great question, Brock. As you know from your experience, we've had tremendous success treating major joints like hips, knees, and shoulders, but we've also seen excellent results treating neck and lower back pain. In fact, we're the only clinic in the Seattle area offering image-guided stem cell and PRP injection therapy specifically for neck and low back pain.
How cool is that? If joint, neck, or back pain is holding you back, call Dr. Daniel Nelson at Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine and find out if stem cell therapy may be right for you. Dr. Dan here is the only doctor with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques, including stem cell therapy. Call Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD, at 425-823-4000 or visit danielnelsonmd.com. That's 425-823-4000 or danielnelsonmd.com.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Couponing. Wow, you didn't strike me as the coupon type.
Just trying to stay ahead of inflation. Gas, groceries, everything. It's all more expensive. I need to save wherever I can.
Have you tried Upside yet?
Upside? What's that?
It's a free app that I use that pays cash back for every gallon of gas I buy. You've got to buy gas to get around anyway. Might as well get paid for it.
Come on, does that really add up to anything?
I've already made around $200. The extra cash helped pay down my bills, and I even had a little extra left to treat myself.
And the Upside app is free?
Totally free, and the cash back is real. You can transfer the cash right to your bank account.
I'm downloading Upside right now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code ENJOY to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code ENJOY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code ENJOY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Carter Subaru is Seattle's only Subaru dealer with the largest selection of Subarus in Washington. With over 800 vehicles in stock, they have exactly what you're looking for with savings you'll love. Visit Carter Subaru in Shoreline and Ballard or anytime at cartersubaru.com.
Eric Johnson here. I spent the past 30 years working to help make our community better informed, better protected when it comes to consumer issues, and better equipped to take on whatever life throws at us. That's why I love the free Washington Accident book series from Davis Law Group. These books keep us better informed about the law, better able to protect ourselves on and off the road, and better off when all is said and done after an accident. Chris Davis didn't have to write these books. He did it because he saw a need. People who were in accidents or other legal situations didn't know what to do, what pictures to take, documents to request. Only a tiny fraction of the people who get these free books will ever become clients of Davis Law Group, but that's not the point. Chris wrote them because it was the right thing to do. The free Washington Accident book series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the road might throw at them. Get yours at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning. I'm Frank Lindsay.
CBS News special report. President Trump calls the Supreme Court justices who've struck down his sweeping tariffs a disgrace to our nation.
Foreign countries that have been ripping us off for years are ecstatic. They're so happy. And they're dancing in the streets, but they won't be dancing for long. That I can assure you.
He's announced a new 10% global tariff. CBS's Major Garrett says of today's ruling.
The Trump administration told the Supreme Court it had almost unlimited powers to impose tariffs, not just as an economic matter, but as a diplomatic cudgel. And the court said that view would represent a transformational expansion of the president's authority over tariff policy.
CBS's Jolene Kent.
Emily Lay, a small business owner in Sarasota, Florida, tells me she's thrilled. She's relieved. It gives us clarity. She runs a very successful stationery and planner business. Another business owner, Beth Beneke in Zumbrata, Minnesota. She runs Busy Baby Map, and she said major relief.
CBS News special report. I'm Jennifer Kuiper.
KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey says the ruling should mean immediate relief for consumers across our state.
Former State Attorney General Rob McKenna says the court flexed its muscles in their 6-3 opinion that the president cannot impose tariffs under the International Emergency Economic Powers Act. Only Congress can. It's good news for businesses and consumers.
The U.S. Supreme Court is, not a toady for the administration. They're reading the law and they're reading the Constitution. and they're rendering judgment. I think that the Supreme Court did its job today.
The federal government will now have to pay back billions to businesses in Washington that paid tariffs. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
Comedian Drewski admits sometimes you can go too far. He was talking with CBS about butchering Jackson Smith-Njigba's name at the NFL honors when presenting JSN with the NFL Offensive Player of the Year award.
I reached out and, congratulations to him, the team on the Super Bowl. I think that was an amazing thing. And, I didn't get no response back.
On Wall Street today, the Dow up 177 points, the NASDAQ up 196, and the S&P is up 44 right now. KIRO News Radio traffic in Everett, northbound 5, just north of 526. We had the right lane blocked earlier. It's all clear now. The northbound off-ramp to Columbian Way. Got a disabled vehicle partially blocking the ramp there. And we're just getting word of a crash on Highway 16 westbound near Sprague Avenue. The ramp partially blocked because of that. And still problems with Sound Transit's 2-line light rail service. It is down between Bell Red and downtown Redmond right now. Earlier, the 1 line was down between Angle Lake and Federal Way because of wire theft there, but service on the 1 line has been restored. This traffic report brought to you by Seattle Sports. You can always listen to your favorite local sports content on the FM dial on 97.3 HD2. KIRO News Radio weather, cloudy and 44 this afternoon, and some scattered showers tomorrow. About 49 degrees, rain and 53 on Sunday, and the rain continues on Monday. 38 right now in Seattle. I'm Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
It is 11:33 on the Gee and Ursula Show. Gee is out today. He'll be back on Monday. Greg Tomlin is in.
Is this Justin Timberlake?
Yeah.
Sexy bag.
I know my stuff.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. And in case anyone hasn't heard, Greg, you have one of the most beautiful, sweet singing voices.
Oh, my goodness.
For a guy. No, seriously.
Thank you,
Between
Ursula.
two Gregs, baby.
Holiday magic.
Yeah, Holiday Magic.
We love
introduced
performing.
me to Greg's singing voice. I was like, wow. Yes, fantastic.
Appreciate it.
Okay, coming up, we hear you and words to live by, but right now it is time for us to agree to disagree, brought to you by Guardian Roofing and
One of
Gutters.
these days, we just gotta take off the gloves. Just really go at it.
Man, Nick, I feel like you just keep trying to play different songs every day
Oh,
to
yeah.
make me crack.
Yeah.
That one
I saw your reaction. I loved it.
made me laugh so hard. Sexy Back by Justin Timberlake, a classic that I did not expect to hear on this Friday morning here on KIRO News Radio.
Expect the unexpected.
We try to keep it hip.
Yeah, keeping it young and fun, apparently. And speaking of young and fun, let's talk about more problems for my generation. So as we've talked about before, Generation Z is leading the side hustle charge, as they call it, right? 34% of workers age 18 to 28 have some sort of side job in addition to their full-time job. And that's even more than millennials that were like, we do this already, with 31%. So 34% of Gen Z is doing this. And another survey that came from Bankrate, another survey from sidehustles.com, be that as it may, says that 67% of more than 1,000 side hustlers say that it's burning them out. And 1 in 5 say these side gigs stress them out more than their full-time job. However, 70% of respondents say they continue to grind not because they love the work, but because they feel like they have no other choice. On the flip side of this, though, a lot of the time side hustles are the only opportunity that a lot of people have to work on their passions, like having a band, doing things that may not make you a lot of money, but you do it because you need the money, and it also keeps you motivated. But as it becomes more and more recurrent in our society, many young people are starting to crash and burn and feel that burnout. So my question for you is, in the big scheme of things, is it worth it to work these extra hours while you're young, or do we need to shift the culture and focus on creating greater work-life balances?
I can start. I think for so many young people, and you guys can confirm this, it's a matter of necessity. It's not necessarily by choice. It's, I have to do this side hustle if I'm going to be able to pay my rent, if I'm going to be able to pay off my student loans, which are excessive, or if I'm going to be able to do anything fun and have that latte. I need to have a side hustle because things are just not getting any cheaper. That said, the one thing that you cannot ever get back is your health or your mental health. And the thing that I worry about, it was Dave in Snohomish County who rattled off all those different things that your generation has had to deal with, whether it's coming from 9/11 and pandemic and all just the disarray of things that are going on environmentally, et cetera, you've had a lot. And then on top of that, you're now burned out because you can't make ends meet. If there's any kind of way to reduce that, I'm all for it. I think you have to protect your health.
I want to disagree, but I can't, Ursula. I almost think that the term side hustle might be a misnomer or a bit outdated for 2026. I myself have had up to 3 to 4 different sources of income at any different time over the past 15 years out of necessity. But you also make a good point in terms of a lot of this boils down to what standard of living are you trying to create and for what purpose? Now, some people don't need the side hustle. Some people have to just to make ends meet. But also, we make decisions in life where we want to live, what we want our commute to be. You could have a much smaller place that's closer to the city. You could have a bigger place out in the suburbs or, living in more rural areas and so on and so forth. But long gone are the days of, my grandfather worked for Honeywell. Mm-hmm. I think he retired with a pension at like 54. And then was like set for the next 30 years of his life. That doesn't exist anymore, right? You kind of just have to constantly think about making ends meet until, there are cush jobs out there occasionally that you can find. But yeah, I think more and more the norm is you got to diversify your workload. And is that an unfortunate reality? In some ways, yes, but it's an adapt or die environment in terms of technological advances and innovation that makes some jobs obsolete and then create jobs in other sectors. And so, man, it's head on a swivel time in terms of work.
Especially, I just feel for anyone looking for work right now. But I'm curious, though, for you to answer that question. With the side hustles.
Yeah, obviously it's essential economically, and I do think in a weird way, it's good for your brain to have different avenues to focus on. Maybe that also has to connect
I agree with that.
Maybe that has to connect to the technology thing. I think for me, if I focus in on one thing for too long, then my brain's like, you know what? Like, it feels a little refreshing to go to my side hustle and have that balance. But I will also argue, I think my generation also has a little bit more of that carpe diem of living in the moment. And I do think, to your credit, Ursula, of what you were saying, for a lot of young people, that side hustle is for the cause of trying to create more opportunities to have fun and create memories, because our world feels like it's crashing and burning already in front of us. Why not crash and burn while we're at it and burn ourselves out a little bit? But I try to mentally keep myself like, you know what, maybe we can stop tiring ourselves out every single day.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely.
Yeah, so that, keeping it fun and light today, haven't we?
Yes.
But in that regard, I do want to talk about something kind of silly. Like, this one's really silly, but I thought it would be fun. Y'all know the singer-rapper Pitbull, right? From Miami, Pitbull. I'm sure you got something queued up for that, Nick.
Yes.
He recently announced that he wants to break the world record for largest gathering of people wearing bald caps. I'm not sure if you've seen on social media, but it's become sort of a trend at his concerts to wear a bald cap and kind of dress like him because he's a bald guy. People love it. It's a whole thing. It's a bit.
And it's great for the gram.
Right, and it's great for the gram. But it had me thinking about world records in general. And obviously this is a very niche, silly thing. And so my question is, should we really be recognizing world records for these silly, niche things? It doesn't really matter. Is it really that impressive if he gets millions of people together?
Greg, I want you to start.
Since you already turned all over your cards, yes, this is an unbelievable occurrence that we're about to witness here. He should get Larry David as a co-sponsor here. The more world records, the better. The more publicity hounds, the better. Shameless vying for attention. Way to go, Pitbull. More power to you. Do you disagree, Ursula?
I disagree. The whole Guinness Book of World Records. See, I would rather use Alyssa Liu as an example of what you should be going for. You know what? She wasn't going for the gold. She was going to go for, hey, I'm going to have as good a time and I'm going to train as hard as I can the way I want to do it. And if I get a record or if I get a gold medal, great. If not, I'm enjoying myself. But some of these things are just so silly. And you know what? I don't want to say it's out of laziness or it's just easy, low-hanging fruit. We'll just go, oh, look, they're going for the world record for number of hot dogs eaten in 30 seconds.
But it's also kind of whimsical, right? Adding to the enjoying the fun of life. Like, yeah, is there anyone else out? Like, there's not a predetermined record for this. But you know what? If Pitbull wants to do it,
great.
More power to him.
So there's not a predetermined record. So is it really a record? Or he's just doing it? Now he's setting a standard.
I mean, to you, how many people would you have to see in a crowd in bald caps to be like, wow, that's impressive?
Well, is there something to be said here about male pattern baldness and how it's not something to shun, but something to embrace and celebrate? It's body positive is what it is, Ursula.
That is
It's creative, but this is just a marketing tactic.
Yes.
And you know what? It's working for him because the goal was to have people talk about it. And guess what?
Yes.
Here's what we're
Ding,
doing
ding,
right
ding,
now.
ding,
Ding, ding, ding.
But I'd love to
Perfect.
see a sight of all those bald caps out there. That'd be funny.
Okay, coming up, we hear ya and words to live by.
This is what it's all about, right?
The Seahawks win Super Bowl 60.
The pure joy.
To beat the Patriots, especially in the 49ers stadium, it means everything.
It's a great time to be alive for Seattle fans.
It's why we're 12s.
Just like Mike McDonald said, we did not care.
We got a parade to get to.
Seattle will hold a victory parade Wednesday.
We are the home of your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
They are bringing the Lombardi back to the Northwest.
KIRO Newsradio.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit revivemenshealth.com.
It's clogged again.
Your drain?
Just had it cleared.
You didn't call Apollo Plumbing.
How can you tell?
Because your drain's clogged again.
So frustrating.
We can clear that drain.
That's what the last guy said.
We'll clear it, guaranteed.
He said that too.
Apollo Plumbing will clear your drain or it's free.
Wait, what?
Apollo Plumbing clears your drain.
Or it's free?
Yep.
What's the catch?
No catch.
Fine print?
Apollo Plumbing clears your main drain for $83.
$83 or it's free?
And we'll even give you a camera inspection.
Because?
It's the best way to find what's causing your clog.
But that's extra.
Nope. Included.
No extra charge?
Not 1 cent.
$83 or it's free.
All it takes is an accessible outside cleanout.
And an Apollo plumber.
No clog is safe from Apollo Plumbing.
And just like that, my main drain is...
draining again.
How can you...
Apollo plumbers are that good.
$83 or it's free.
You call, we come.
My drain's draining again.
Guaranteed.
$83 or it's free.
As it should be.
Apollo Plumbing.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
Just hearing the word IRS can make people break out in a cold sweat. No one wants to deal with the IRS, and now you don't have to. The good news is Legal Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating with the IRS for more than 15 years. It doesn't matter how much you owe, whether it's $5,000 or $5 million. You deserve the best in the business on your side, and that is Legal Tax Defense. Even if you're working with someone else and just want a second opinion, there is no cost or obligation to call. They can prevent levies, liens, wage garnishments, even file back tax returns. And the best news about Legal Tax Defense is they won't take your case unless they know they will reduce or eliminate your tax debt. Call Legal Tax Defense right now for a free no-risk consultation. 800-265-7681. 800-265-7681. You have nothing to lose but everything to gain. 800-265-7681.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it today at carsforkids.org. Your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call 1-877-CARS4KIDS to donate your car today. That's Cars with a K. Right now, get a free furnace with the purchase of a premium heat pump and air cleaning package at CM Heating. Start today with an always free estimate. There's no beating CM Heating for heating, cooling, plumbing, or electrical. Go to cmheating.com.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Couponing. Wow, you didn't strike me as the coupon type.
Just trying to stay ahead of inflation. Gas, groceries, everything. It's all more expensive. I need to save wherever I can.
Have you tried Upside yet?
Upside? What's that?
It's a free app that I use that pays cash back for every gallon of gas I buy. You've got to buy gas to get around anyway. Might as well get paid for it.
Come on, does that really add up to anything?
I've already made around $200. The extra cash helped pay down my bills, and I even had a little extra left to treat myself.
And the Upside app is free?
Totally free, and the cash back is real. You can transfer the cash right to your bank account.
I'm downloading Upside right now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code ENJOY to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code ENJOY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code ENJOY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
And just like that, we are done with our Fresh Fridays edition of the Gee and Ursula Show. Gee will be back on Monday. Greg, it's been a lot of fun. You are the guest host, so I'm going to let you start with our text messages.
All right, we'll start on the topic of tech in school with kids. Has it been beneficial or detrimental? From the 206, I am a Seattle public school science teacher. I've been teaching science for 32 years. When our district switched to an all-computer science program, it was the worst decision our district ever made. We fought it and continue to fight against it because you cannot learn science by looking at a computer screen. Science is about hands-on experimentation, analysis of data, and discussion with our classmates to learn more about why our data might have differences, etc. Science on the computer means everyone gets the same answer every single time. That is not how science works.
Wow. Stacy in the 206 says, my now 30-year-old son was working on a computer when he was 3, and he's now a senior software developer. So in his case, it was okay. But I do agree with less screen time and more paper and pencil time.
And from the 360, tech in the public schools is exactly why we pulled our son and put him in a classical school.
206 texted in and said, I proctored testing for high schools. The majority of the students were unable to write and copy the privacy statement required in cursive, including their own names. Oh my goodness, wait a minute. I told them to just connect the letters with lines so it would appear somewhat as cursive.
Oh my gosh.
So sad.
That is
That is really sad. Someone else told me that there was someone in school, and I couldn't remember what grade she said, but it was high school, I think she said, and they didn't know what a verb was. Like, okay, those are extreme cases, but yeah, I think that your point of we need to go back to some of the basics and wait a little bit longer maybe to introduce computers and all the technology.
And here's the thing, which I've realized more and more as a parent. So for the exercise of learning cursive, I don't know how many people use cursive on a daily basis. It might be a limited percentage. But the act of learning it itself
is
something beneficial to the kid. It's so when I'm learning algebra with my son and he's like, am I ever going to use this one day? And sometimes I go, well, maybe not all of this, but you're going through that process of learning and struggling through it, and that will benefit you in countless ways for the rest of your life. So it might not even be the numbers or the concepts themselves right now, but it's that discipline of going through the practice of fighting through and pushing through and memorizing something and learning it that you'll use countless times.
Yes, that's a great point. Now, someone did take issue because you said sometimes you got to make it miserable and sometimes it's going to be miserable or whatever. And someone said, well, if you make it so miserable, that's going to be a turnoff to education as well.
There's a balance to be had there, yes.
I think that was a good point.
On Side Hustles, CJ in Bothell writes, struggle informs your values. Not everyone can live like an influencer. You have to learn what you want and what it takes to get there. Once we all figure out that Louis Vuitton is not a birthright and Levi's from pennies are just fine, we can stop trying to be rich.
That was a
food for that.
Yeah, interesting take on Gen Z and side hustles being necessary and causing burnout. It all boils down to corporate greed and Reaganomics. The rich keep getting richer while the wealth gap continues to grow, and the middle class goes the way of the dodo.
Surprised they didn't say trickle down. Little trickle down econ. On Flex Friday, Stephanie in Snohomish. I was diagnosed with diabetes and am turning 60 this year. That's on the subject of GLP-1s, I assume. I've been upping my exercise game for the past year and I'm actually getting stronger. I figured I'd just try to not lose ground, but have been able to increase my activity. And it worked. It's all about habit forming.
And I want to congratulate everyone who is doing something a little bit differently from what they did even a year ago or 6 weeks ago and joining us on our Flex Fridays, because it inspires me. And I hope that us being vulnerable and sharing, and Greg, you were really vulnerable and you really laid it out there. Like, I'm not sharing my weight on the air. But you went right in there.
I went there.
You went there, and it resonated with a lot of people. Catherine in Paulsbo says, 40 squats done while cooking. If food is not needing attention, I do counter push-ups. Do stairs 2 at a time all day long.
Nice.
Those are perfect.
Yep. Ernie and Kent, I forgot to tell you guys that Sandra and I started Pilates about 2 weeks ago. I actually like it. 2 times per week plus 2 days a week of weight training, plus at least 60 to 100 push-ups on off days. Getting it in.
Look at that. Okay, B in Puyallup, who usually says something really funny, but I love this. Not hitting the gym, B says, but after 25 years, I've decided I've been drinking too much. I'm taking a break. It's been 12 days. Congratulations on 12 days. That's huge.
Here's the thing. My wife has wanted to get a gym membership now for a few years and has been trying to encourage me to go to the gym. But it's so public and I'm so fat.
Okay. I want to just say, I'm going to listen.
And everybody's recording you. Have you seen those social media videos of people being recorded while they're working out? I don't want to be that guy.
Guess what? To heck with them. And I understand that feeling like, I need to work out before I go to the gym. It's because I don't want to be seen. You know what? You deserve to be in the gym just as much as anyone else. And
because I'm good enough?
Yeah,
I'm smart enough? And doggone it, people like me, Ursula. I like the pep talk. No, I wasn't.
You are hard on yourself. Terry in Black
it.
Diamond said, taking a GLP-1 is not a failure on your part. If you need meds to lower your blood pressure, is that a failure? No. Good for you for getting the help that you need.
I'll take that and run with it. And from the 253, I had started lifting weights a bit before you announced this one on the show. 52 years old and needed to get in better shape. I've made it to the gym 2 or 3 times a week since late October. Initially lost 8 pounds. No more now that my muscles are growing. Now the improvement is seen in the mirror. Big muscles and less flab. Also, my lady tells me I look better and my bod is just more solid. Keep it. Well, we're getting a little too graphic here.
Okay, no, your brain went somewhere else. I'll tell you what. 253, that's awesome. It doesn't matter what the scale says. It's how you feel, how your partner feels, and I think that's huge progress. Congratulations. Words to live by. You have to get along with people, but you also have to recognize that the strength of a team is different people with different perspectives and different personalities. That is a quote from Steve Case, and I love that. Today, I know that people are like, hey, who's this Greg guy? And you know what? I love that you bring different perspectives to our show. And I think it is important to have different perspectives. And we end up seeing how there's a lot of stuff we agree on.
Yeah, I had a blast today. Thank you so much, Ursula, Sophia, everybody who makes this show run. Always a privilege sitting on KIRO Radio and love talking with you.
Thank you. Sophia, thank you so much. Have a great weekend.
Of course, you too.
Nick.
Well, are kids these days not reaching heights that parents were before, given accusations of incognizance when told the score? Well, I'd say no matter who the older folks are calling out, let the youngins have a break from all that weight they're told about. And maybe tech has played a role in how problems unfold, but we'll still be using all these tools to give answers untold. Like maybe ask an AI if the Mariners will win the World Series, though I don't think it's reached that ability quite yet. Only time will tell.
Love it. Nick, thank you. I hope everyone has a fabulous weekend. Take care.
Hope you had as much fun as we had. So long, everybody.
Tomorrow, let's get higher. What you want? People on streets. Da, da, da. Da, 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 da.
You never know what's in store each morning once you hit the road.
We've got a major traffic alert in effect right now.
While you're getting ready every morning, make us part of your routine.
What morning, huh?
Yeah.
I
got off to an early start.
Just tell your smart speaker to play KIRO News Radio or stream us on the app.
Both directions of I-5 are closed.
We'll help you get where you're going faster.
Maybe bail at 512.
KIRO News Radio. We're on your smart speaker, the app, and 97.3 FM.
I'm Bradley Johnson with 1-800-DUI-AWAY. We now have over 500 five-star online reviews. Bradley Johnson helped me out of a very difficult situation. Their professionalism and knowledge resulted in an outcome I wouldn't have thought possible. They were steady and reassuring, taking time to explain things clearly. They never rushed me, even when I had a million questions. In the end, they found a resolution I'm grateful for. They were a pleasure to work with. I was impressed with their knowledge and skill, ultimately winning my case. 10 out of 10. I would highly recommend. Call 1-800-DUI-AWAY or Google us to schedule your free private consultation. 5 stars means achieving your best possible outcome. 1-800-DUI-AWAY.
1-800-DUI-AWAY. 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes. 1 in 3. That means it could be you, your football buddy, your football buddy, or you, your best man, your worst man, you, your dog walker, your cat jogger. While 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
File your taxes for free with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. File on your own in the Credit Karma app by February 28th. Valid for those who didn't file with TurboTax last year.
Every 2 minutes, an American is sexually assaulted. Be the someone who gives their time. Be the someone who lends an ear. Be the someone who takes a step. This is Christina Ricci with RAIN, asking you to join the fight against sexual violence and volunteer in your community. Log on to RAIN.org, that's RAINN.org, to learn how you can be the someone.
This message brought to you by the Rape, Abuse, and Incest National Network and this station.
Jen, I didn't know you shopped here.
Hey, I'm hunting for something fresh for spring.
Oh, girl, skip them all. Jewelry Television has the best spring looks right now.
JTV, way ahead of you. Just hit up JTV.com yesterday, scored the cutest clover earrings, 2 tennis bracelets, and this gorgeous pearl ring.
Right now, new customers get $20 off any purchase of $99 or more at JTV.com.
Oh, and gold hoops and this turquoise bracelet.
Just a couple things, huh?
Maybe more than a couple.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-959-3388. That's 800-959-3388.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. North